Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of Full Sitting on TSWS Gaming. This week we have Xbox leading the line, not only in actual games, but also diversity hires in leadership. We also chop up the Xbox Partner Preview Mini Showcase. I'm your host, Loke7, and joining me today is the lovely Nintendo God, Cozy Beluga. Mr. Behind Them Sticks, Ham Solo, and the man that likes games more than anyone alive, Mr. Matt likes games, and our special guest, Mr. Seamus Blackley, aka the father, the all father of Xbox.
The All Father.
The all father.
Yep. The Godfather walking out in the pimp
in,
suit
everyone.
looking good. But anyways, what's cracking? Good to see you, Seamus. Thank you
Jeez,
so
man.
much for coming back to the show. And this time, you're on a panel with me and the other people that I have on every week. But Loke is my partner in crime. I actually have this channel with him. He's the brother from Africa that I told you that I do this show with. So I really
North
appreciate
Texas.
you giving me your time, being here. I know we missed out last week, but whatever. We're here this week, and let's get it going and let's get it popping.
Things happen.
We definitely want to use your time wisely because I'm not sure how much time you have to be here
I'm really
today.
sorry, man. I was like, I apologize to everybody who's waiting for this. I was installing every update there is, for fucking Discord. I had not updated this machine for like over maybe it might have been 2 years. I was having a nostalgia flashback seeing the Discord that was on this machine. The interface has changed a lot. Where all the buttons are changed a lot.
Where there's life, there's change.
That was great because I heard none of that.
Oh, great.
I heard none of that.
All right.
I couldn't get my headset to go to the right damn place. I don't know why it won't select it. But can somebody talk real quick?
Classic problem with product design, which is
you guys are good. Go on ahead and speak real quick, Loke. I need to fix my headset.
I agree.
Yeah. Can you turn up Seamus's mic? It's really low.
I was looking for something that was just a 3.5 millimeter, and then you know how much hard it was. Never mind, I give up.
Yeah, because there's that Microsoft. It used to be called That Guy. What about that guy who wants this? What about that guy who wants this? What about that guy who wants this? And you end up with a product where no one can use it because it's got 35,000 options, and none of them is what you want. And like the whole thing just it feels all clogged up and screwed up because it's not simple. And that's kind of how in their clock on computers. Just turn it on, it goes. And
so you have to
valuable.
Yeah.
Welcome in, everyone. Silent Cipher, Live Supremacy. Mr. Joanna Dark was in here yesterday. Fastback, Vincent Vega, Blind Giant, Sour Blow, Mr. Sir X-Man, 4GQ TV. Thank you, everyone, for coming through. Really appreciate you guys.
I can hear now. Let's go.
Before we partake in this week's session of Digital Savagery, tell me, Cozy, are you feeling rosy?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because I got pizza.
Oh my god.
This fantastic Twinkie flavored latte.
That sounds incredible.
What the hell? Like every single time, Cozy. Every single time.
What?
I mean,
why would you complain?
I don't think she just like her digestive system is something fucking else.
No, it's all messed up. It's all messed up.
You gotta make sure to brush your teeth after that shit. That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
If you eat that whole pizza, you'll have a sugar high. Like you'll be seen from orbit.
Be so
There's
fucking lit.
Definitely actual footage of me eating essentially a container of sugar. Yeah, I did that. Yeah. It was good though.
Yeah. She ate an entire cake live, but it was worth it. We gained like 10 subscribers.
It was only like 3/4 of the cake.
Cozy, it was worth it, and today it's also going to be worth it. Just think about it. You eating these grotesque things plus Seamus, like at least 6 subscribers we're going to get today.
Now, that's actually
yes, they are.
I would definitely try that gummy pizza. That looks really good. And it's got gummy pepperonis on it. Can I see that? Can you hold that up again? That's like a work of art. That's a beautiful thing.
Lord have mercy.
Jalapenos on it. The question is it actually like pepperoni flavored?
No, they're all fruity flavored. I would love a savory flavored gummy that's like fruit based, but I know
that's a really good business idea. Like, what would it be weird? Would it be weird like give somebody like a hot dog and it's actually a gummy hot dog, but it tastes like hot dog?
Oh
They
my
had
God,
those
that sounds.
Japanese food
You guys are
kits,
freaking insane.
and they actually
That
had one of
sounds
those
wild.
Japanese food kits that was like, a burger, fries, and a
Right.
soda. And it was actually savory flavored. They don't sell that anymore. Now it's actually fruity flavored, and I understand why, because I had it and it was not good. It was
Yeah, not good.
it was awful. It was
In
terrible.
Japan,
And I was
though, they
like,
have
at
these
least the
places
soda's
where
good. But
they have places in Japan where everything is tofu, but you wouldn't guess that everything is tofu because it tastes and looks like other stuff, but it's all made out of tofu.
I
It's
would
like
be
an
there.
absolute art form. It's crazy.
There you go, Cozy.
Okay, I didn't have the Seamus and Cozy talking about food on my bingo card.
I mean, I totally had it. I totally had it in my notes
I-
because I mean, as soon as you
Right.
mention food around Seamus, it's over.
I-
And then
I feel like-
and then Cozy is just freaking insane. She'll just,
I feel like we can
you know,
talk
that
about food all
stomach
day,
is steel.
and everything you guys say is really, really boring comparatively. Because
L-
look, she has a gummy pizza. What the hell else do you want in life?
That's a big pizza. That's
You
a
are
big
really
pizza.
eating
Like
that
it-
right now.
It
Goodness
stretches
gracious.
like a cartoon pizza. It looks
It
like a
does.
cartoon-
wow.
Yeah.
Smash that like button, you guys. Smash that like
Really
button,
good.
subscribe,
This is
share it out.
really
This is
good.
worth it.
You can't get this kind of quality entertainment everywhere.
No,
That's all I'm
no,
saying.
you
I
cannot.
like how she's
All
moving
right?
around like lights shining off of it, just to remind you it's not a real pizza.
Right. Sir X-Man with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Sir X-Man. Says, told you Sony was on business welfare 2 years ago. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
We're starting with the
Well-
slander.
Well, I'm actually going to start out by asking
Go ahead.
a question, but does anybody else have anything to say before I go on ahead?
No.
No.
Oh my goodness. I know you ain't got shit to say. You got a mouthful right there. But anyways, Seamus.
She's hashtag winning right now, and you know it.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on, Ham. Before
so-
you go off,
Okay.
Silent
What's up?
Cypher, $2 super chat. It says a gummy hot dog that tastes like hot dog, throwing up emoji. All right, go ahead. Ham.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
maybe
I 100% agree.
maybe 2 or 3 throwing up emojis. That's not the kind of thing you get something you like.
Right.
Like if it looks like a hot
All
dog
right.
that tastes like grape, that would be one thing. I mean,
Mhm.
think about it. All right, sorry, ask your question, man. It's your show.
Oh man, I'm
We got a lot of Xbox you say. We got a lot of executive shuffles, Activision, acquisition, reorganization. But for corporate guys, this is a big day. This is a huge day for the corporate kind of people.
Okay, so with that being said,
Yeah.
you see like you've been in the business, you've talked and did your thing back then. Looking at it now and how much it's grown, exploded, gaming is, a big part of, people's everyday lives, even for, very casual people that just touch on it every once in the blue moon. Where do you see this paradigm kind of shifting in the days coming? Because now we see people like Apple trying to get into the business, and Sony's done great for the most part, but they seem to be kind of moving in a direction that's different than what they kind of do usually. Like, they're getting more into mobile. You see them trying to get more into PC, but they're kind of toe dipping their way in.
Sony's an entertainment company, and they're a consumer company, consumer electronics company, right? PlayStation started out of the record group, right out of the music group. Do you guys know this? That Kutaragi-san
Vaguely.
started because he was in the music group, and he said, "Look, game developers are like bands. Let's treat this, and the games are like albums, and this is what the business is going to be like." And that's how he pitched it internally, and so that set the flavor of that product. Right? And then in the Nintendo, right? I mean, like they were a trading card company. There was a succession. The young guy said, "We're going to go out of business if we keep making trading cards, and that's the past. We need to go forward into electronics." And he was right, and it took off. But so their mindset is this old school Japanese business mindset. I mean, Nintendo's been around for hundreds of years, right? Or for at least 100 years, very long time. And if you don't know that, you should go check it out because the history is really cool. So they have a character and a way that they think about things, right? That's caused their business to be what it is. And sometimes they succeed and sometimes they fail. They're not infallible. Neither is Sony. And Microsoft then, to convince Microsoft to let us make a game console, we had to represent it in a different way that was compatible with Microsoft's culture, right? In the same way that Kutaragi had to represent games as a music business to Sony's internal culture, right? And then things become really successful. And then, like at Microsoft, Xbox is now a core brand. When we started Xbox, it was like a rat in the kitchen that somebody's trying to step on. And now it's like a core brand. I thought it was amazing.
Damn.
Like Cortana became like the actual voice of Windows for a while.
Yeah.
Right. That's like, honestly, that is like, that would be like having, I don't know, like the prophet appear in the Bible or something. It was a crazy thing at Microsoft to see a game thing get into the Windows operating system. And it means the culture is shifting. But that also then means, I'm sorry to talk for so long. It means like
No,
now
please
it's going
go.
to get corporate. And me and probably a lot of you all are going to get upset about that because it's going to become very bland. Now it's a corporate big business. And so then you
Yeah.
have to have people inside the business who are like, no, we need to like make it actually entertainment again and be edgy and actually do shit that's interesting. But guys who operate huge businesses don't necessarily want it to be so interesting. And it's a crazy thing. I had a whole thing today, this morning. I was looking through all the changes. And I saw this woman, Sara Bond, who is now promoted to work for Phil. And this
I'm
is
happy
an
you brought her
amazing
up.
thing. Yeah, I mean, here's a black Harvard-educated woman who is now in charge of hardware innovation for Xbox. And I was like, fuck yes, right? Beautiful thing. This is all beautiful. Except that she comes from like McKinsey in this very corporate background. So it's like, all right, well, so what does that mean about where somebody like that takes the brand? Like, and so it becomes more corporate. And so everything is too
Look,
hard.
that's
It's
like
like
you're saying, past performances.
well,
Yes.
but it's two-sided, like you can't also look at that person or any person who comes from a corporate background and say, oh, they're not cool. She's actually an incredibly cool person. So I think she's gonna make great decisions about it. But there's a corporate thing happening right now, which is different than the kind of insurgent feel that the brand has. And the brand depends on this insurgent feeling, but it also has to be a big grown-up, like adult pants wearing business. So how do you manage that? What do you do? And so you have to have a lot of really smart people who try to figure it out. It's a hard thing to do. But nonetheless, I mean, I'll circle back around. I think seeing Phil promote and empower people like that is absolutely what it has to be about. But it's hard to do that. It's hard to make those decisions inside a bigger corporation, especially when you just asked for all the money to buy Activision. Because now Phil's got to feel like he has to prove that that was a good investment, and he has to have a lot of success based on that investment. And that's a difficult thing. So now, are you like operating the business out of fear? Like now I can't fuck up? Because if you have a mindset of, oh, I can't fuck up, that's very different from having the mindset of like, I want to go kick ass, right? Like asking for permission versus asking for forgiveness. And anytime you make a big acquisition like Activision, you can get set in like a problem where you're operating defensively and you're going to make cautious decisions. And gamers don't want cautious decisions. I want to see everybody swinging for the fences every single time, and it's okay if games fail, but I want to see all sorts of new crazy ideas come out. I want to see people really take some risks about this stuff. Like that's got to be the entire point, right? And that was what was core to the Xbox brand. That's a very difficult situation for those guys to be in. And Sony has a similar. They have a very difficult situation they're in right now as well. And I think Nintendo's in a difficult situation too, but all in their own way difficult. And it's easy to think, God, if like Phil only acted like Nintendo on this and like PlayStation on this, that it would all get better. But Phil can't do that. Phil's sitting inside a giant mega corporation with like billions of dollars flowing through its vein and a whole stack of like managers and board members and investors and investor group meetings and, CTOs and CEOs and corporate coordination meetings and HR policies and all this stuff that can make it impossible to do anything at all.
Damn.
Got you. So no. That was very informative. I liked what I heard. But what I want to do real quick is just give everybody the opportunity to come through and ask a question that they're kind of burning with before we continue kind of this conversation and questions that I have. I don't want to keep asking you everything while everybody else just sits there. So, Loke,
But that's your
brother,
right.
start with you.
It's your podcast. You can just like ask all your questions and tell them like, oh, we're not interested.
Well, Loke is, like I said, he's my partner, so I definitely can't. I definitely can't do all that by myself. I gotta just share it with brothers. So Loke, you got anything you want to say, or should I pass it over to somebody else?
My burning question was why does Xbox struggle to market in Africa, or just intentionally ignore the African content? Because PlayStation, even though PlayStation doesn't have like digital representation in terms of, they don't let us buy games because they don't believe the rest of the African continent exists in the financial district. Like you can't put your card details unless you're in South Africa, whereas Xbox allows you to do that wherever you are in Africa. If you guys can do that, why? Oh, well, you're not at Xbox right now, but when you were there, what was you guys' vision of Africa as like customer base?
Dude, that's such a hard question because like, there is, I mean, it's just, there's so many issues packed into there. I mean, there's like an anti-Africa bias built into the whole world, right? I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And like that, if you can make a big profitable business without having to do the extra work to add Africa, then people are just going to do that. They're just going to be dicks about it. And the thing is, you're missing out on, I mean, I think you're missing out on three really important things. Okay. First of all, you're missing out on game developers who would come out of Africa and the ideas and voices and shit that they could do that people from other places are not going to be able to do, right? That's a voice that people really want to hear. And you see occasionally like breakout products come out of Africa, movies and TV shows, music, right? And everybody's like, "Oh my God, like I can't believe there's this huge hit from Africa. Like it's a continent that is in orbit or something, right?" And it's just people, maybe you should let them make stuff. So they miss out on the content because they're not like, giving the market a place for that to actually go. They make a decision probably that the investment they have to make in infrastructure isn't going to earn its money back. And so that becomes a very difficult conversation to have when you have a bunch of like, bankers and people who are like, constraining you. And as you know, at every company, at every large company, there is going to be this bias. It's going to be racist. It's going to be religious. It's going to be, Eurocentrist. It's going to be all these things. And people are going to fight you for trying to go into Africa. It's just how it is. And so you need somebody who's going to champion it. And so far, nobody's championed it. And somebody needs to fucking champion it. That's important. Okay. And the third thing is, you can
Loke be a champion.
Well, and it's not that hard because like, and I think a lot of it is just, is also just ignorance. It's like, people group Africa in with a whole group of other economies, and they don't understand that it's its own vibrant economy with like a totally different like kind of infrastructure and the infrastructure in Africa is not a disaster. It's just different,
Yes.
and it's just like in the Middle East, we do the same thing. And you've seen this like with the war and all that. You see, Muslims and in a lot of cultures, people just have these crazy ideas about Muslims. Oh, they don't really have an economy and they don't really have, it's like, what?
They don't have electricity.
Like, the number system you use for your economy was invented by them, you fucking moron, right? So this is like just general ignorance and push. And I think those are the reasons, you're right. There is no good practical reason why all the consoles shouldn't be in Africa. There is no good practical reason why African engineers and programmers shouldn't be making games. There is no good reason why there shouldn't be game companies in Africa making African games that would do great in other countries. Except for just ignorance, probably a lot of institutional racism and bias, and fear and reluctance to have to spend any money to open up a new market.
Right? Yeah, I agree with you on the ignorance part. especially with the preconceived notions of Africa. I wrote an article for IGN a couple of years ago that went viral. I'm sure you didn't see it, but it went pretty viral. Went to the New York Post and everything. And I just explained, I broke down essentially, and clowns, this is for you because you're talking about it's a risky market. I broke down the risk all over the world. There is a vibrant gaming community in South America. There are more people dying. There's more conflict in South America than the whole of Africa.
Oh yeah.
We won't even get to the Middle East or Eastern Europe. But no one looks at those regions and says, oh, no consoles. All right? So this is not about risk. This is not about potential wars. It is literally just what you talked about, Seamus. Bias. That's all it is.
And it feeds back on itself too, because you're like, okay, well, we're not gonna spend money to make a console infrastructure like in South America. And then we don't spend money. And so what do people do? They're not going to stop playing games. So they pirate games. And then you say, oh, well, it's all piracy down there. Like, well, yes. Asshole, because you didn't invest anything to, what?
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. And so, somebody.
It's like Nintendo with their old games.
Well,
like,
somebody's going to
what do you
move
think people are going to
do? Somebody's going to move into Africa. Somebody will move meaningfully into the Middle East. And even South America, it's like those, they get treated like crap. Also, in terms of games.
Not as bad as here.
No.
I wish I lived in South America. Jeez.
Well, and how sad a statement is that? Because like South America sucks really bad for games, and so it's just like, yeah, but gamers, and I know more about South American game studios than I know about African game studios. But
and we do have them.
Yeah, I know you do. I've seen them. I've bought games on iPhone from African studios that were awesome. And I wish I could remember the name of the developers right now, but I will go look it up.
So Apple Arcade, right, is sitting there and seeing value in Africa, and they're putting their games on.
And they're getting money, and they're making money from African developers.
Yes.
So, I think that there's a moment, I hope, in the future where somebody makes the investment and then makes a killing, a huge amount of money, and that turns everything around. But it is it's straight bias and just a lot of ignorance, just a lot of ignorance, and people all over the world are just so ignorant of where things come from. And there's a weird thing that human beings do that as I get older I see. It's like you guys have all heard of not invented here, right? Like people don't want to buy something if it's not from like the local place or if it's not invented inside their company. And like people tend to get the idea
Buy American.
Only people that I know are able to make cool music, or only people that I know, and it's patently false, right? I mean, like most new creative ideas come from a place you've never heard of before, because that's why they're interesting, because they're new and that's what you want and it's new. So we'll see if that changes, man. And I know it's got to be really frustrating. And the other thing, just from a risk standpoint, like, dude, how much riskier does it get to try to move an American console brand into Japan? And we took that risk.
Yes.
That's so on the category of risk, like you said in your article, like it's just a misunderstanding of the relative risks of all of these different regions and categories and the challenges that they pose. And it's really just deciding that you're going to try.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to go on a rant, but it pisses me off.
No, that's legit.
Some super chats here. Sir X-Man, come on everyone, let's share this out. Let's go. Thanks to everyone that's liking and sharing this out. Rachie says I should talk about African studios. I think I'm gonna start doing that on my free time. I'm gonna start inundating you guys with African gaming stuff. Anyways, we don't have much time. We can move over to someone else.
Loke.
It's true in a lot of areas. It's true in physics. Like there's this thing that happens, and I saw it happen like in the 80s and the 90s, where like a really brilliant person in science or physics will show up from Africa, and people will be all amazed. Wait, what? You're from Kenya? What? How could
you guys have schools there?
Like, and it's that's just how it is. It's a huge fucking bad bias.
All right, so Loke, do me a favor, check your DMs and take care of that. But I want to move over to Cozy now, because I'm interested in you, Cozy. If you have any questions
Yeah.
or anything that you want to ask. So
much
go on
that pizza
ahead
did
and
you-
do so. Yeah. First answer his question.
Mark,
Oh my God, you are out of your.
Okay, that's impressive. How are you sitting down? Okay,
She's devoured it.
that's good. Yeah, it's got at least like 40% of that.
I like candy.
Yeah, who doesn't, man?
Do you like pineapple on pizza?
I'm of two minds about it. I can go either way.
No,
Okay.
just say no,
I'll allow
Seamus. Don't you dare.
It's not true because I would say no, but there have been instances, usually after a sufficient amount of booze, where I'm eating a lot of
Listen.
pineapple pizza.
If you have to get drunk to do something, you probably shouldn't be doing it. Can we agree on that?
That's not true. No.
Karaoke.
If you start to do something, it means that you might just have some internal fears that you should get over.
Exactly.
You know? And maybe,
Yeah,
maybe
well.
after the booze, you should get some therapy, man. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
I'm not eating pizza with pineapple on it. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. The
Hey, well,
therapist be
listen,
damned.
we had a guy that worked at our lab who was Iranian. He insisted, okay, that that you should never have a coconut flavor with a meat flavor at the same time because coconut was sweet for dessert, and and meat is savory for a meal. And we were like, brother, like you are missing out on an important thing with coconut in your savory dishes. And then we had to force him to try it. And now, of course, like he orders every coconut curry there is because it's just awesome. But it's just a thing you have to get over. You gotta get over it. And you need your friends to help you with this
Yeah,
sometimes.
look.
And maybe
No.
you
Get
need some
over it,
friends
bud.
to hold you down and force you to eat some pineapple pizza against your will. Maybe to restrain you and stare and feed it to you. All right.
Plug his
All right,
nose.
Cody. Yeah.
I will,
wouldn't be
yeah.
you wouldn't be coughing like that if you had a pineapple pizza right now.
Oh
No, you'd be
God! Can we
smiling.
move on?
Moving on.
Oh,
You didn't say it in your serious
I'm not
voice.
doing well. I'm not doing well
Okay.
today, guys.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next
That was my burning question.
one.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
He said the physics.
You're
For
a big
GQTV.
pineapple pizza proponent. Yeah, well, I mean, like anybody watching you eat that gummy pizza would know automatically that pineapple pizza is in your wheelhouse. It's just right there. It's like a local call from there. Yeah.
I'm not gonna
All
lie,
right.
Cozy. The way that pizza folds makes me uncomfortable.
It just looks like you shouldn't be eating it. It just looks like you shouldn't be eating that.
Let me ask you a
Well,
question.
Cozy.
You like marzipan?
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Like yeah, okay, same thing. The marzipan, it looks like a whole bunch of different shit, but it all tastes like almond, right? Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with looking like a piece of toast but tasting like almond. It's weird, but it's okay.
I love all the
Other
candy.
questions? Come on, man.
And any other questions?
You
Okay.
got 11
What
I'm here for 11 minutes.
Okay. What suggestion would you have for someone working on their first game?
Don't wait for permission. Make an awesome game. Don't worry about like what it looks like demoing it to people. Make it for yourself. Make it awesome so you're impressed by it. Then show it to everybody else.
All right, so Seamus, there's something that I usually do with every guest that comes on the show. We're gonna rush through this because you don't have much time, but
Well,
I'm putting you on the spot.
before you do that, let
Oh.
Matt. Before you do that, let Matt go.
All right, fine. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Matt.
because I wanted to
Super
ask.
chats. Hold on. Super chats. real
Whoa.
quick.
All right.
Super chats can wait. Let Matt go.
All right. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, when you were prototyping the Xbox, what was a game that you played on it that made you think that this is definitely a thing that's going to work?
Well, when we were prototyping Xbox, we weren't playing games on it. What we were doing was we were running tests on it to see what its performance was like and to see what the tools were like, because we were game developers. So we were interested in the tools. We were interested in making a system that was a good tool for game developers, because that's how you then ensure that there are good games. So that was the
Okay.
deal. Plus, there were no games for it yet, dude.
Yeah.
There's no games for a prototype console. I guess we did a demo. There's a famous demo we did, or famous to me, of Tomb Raider as a console game, which of course it is now a console game,
Okay.
but it was strictly a PC game at the time. And we hacked just the living crap out of this machine so that you could put the PC Tomb Raider disc in, and this PC would boot in like 9 seconds and load Tomb Raider, and I don't know, in less than 20 seconds or so, Tomb Raider would be up with the title screen running like a console game with a controller, and it looked just like a console, but it was entirely Windows based. We gave that demo to Bill Gates, and we thought Bill was going to be super impressed by this, right? And instead, he got super angry because a feature that we had used was this Windows Instant Boot, where it could boot from the hard drive without all the usual stuff that Windows takes forever booting up. Because when Windows booting up, it used to be that it would be checking for did they attach a new card? Did they plug something new in? And it just took forever because you're waiting for all this stuff to time out. Whereas the PC could boot in like 9 seconds as soon as the hard drive spun up. And so we did this. Worked, and we're all like, yeah, look, it's just like a console. This is really cool. And I can't remember exactly how it went, but basically Bill said, wait, okay, so did you use this feature? And we were like, yeah, that's how we got it to work. And he was like, he looked around at all the the other executives, and he was like, why don't we do this? Like, why do we take so long to boot? We should be using this feature for Windows. And then it became a whole discussion of like Windows boot. And I was there like, no, we should do console. Let us do the console. And they were talking about Windows boot.
Yeah.
So yeah, great.
That's great.
That's how a lot of
That was a
corporate
good day at
meetings
the
go.
office.
Remember earlier when I was talking about why it's hard to get corporations to innovate? There you have it.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
All right, Loke, go on ahead.
Seamus, what is the best game of all time? No hedging. Don't pick a franchise. One game.
For me, and I think for a lot of game developers, it's the compiler. It's the tool that you use to make games. Because making a game is playing a game, and you can make anything you want. So it's like the ultimate open world adventure. It's the best thing in the world. The compiler is the best game in the world. I know that's a weird answer, but like it's the ultimate thing. You can make anything. You could make Mr. Driller, you could make Pac-Man, you could make Skyrim, you could make Spider-Man 2, right? You do whatever you want. And that's what's so compelling about being a game developer, is you can do all that stuff. And
Count
that
on the
answers
guy.
your question. I will tell you what the greatest game of all time is. Very easy. It's Robotron 2084. It is
All
Robotron
right, so
2084.
we got an actual
That's
answer.
the greatest game of all time.
Robotron.
You
If you
broke
haven't
Luke's brain
played-
with the first
Well,
answer.
if you haven't played Robotron 2084 on an actual arcade cabinet with an actual CRT monitor, then you don't know what the best in the world is like.
Right. So before you said that, I was going to say count on the guy that broke the gaming industry to break my questionnaire. But okay, you fixed it at the end.
Sorry.
So
Every
thank you.
game ever is the best game ever.
I'm
This
telling you,
dude, the
if you
compiler.
program, you can
What
make
are you
whatever
supposed to
game
say
you want.
to that?
If you can make whatever game you want, isn't that the greatest game? I mean, isn't it
It
just like
is.
tautologically true? All
Pretty
right.
much.
It is.
Pretty much.
I'm just
Okay, the
saying.
next one. You have some solid points there. The next one is, what is the best console of all time?
Look, I mean, for me personally, it would be the Atari 2600, just because that was the first console that I had. But if I'm honest, it has to be Sega Saturn.
Oh yeah.
Oh snap! Oh
Juan
snap!
would
That's
love
what's up.
that answer.
Facts.
Okay.
He would.
Okay, I didn't see that one
He
coming.
really
All right,
would.
last one.
And that's
And
just,
here,
I mean, I obviously I have to exclude Xbox, obviously. I just want to put that
yes,
disclaimer.
yes.
Yeah.
Bias. Come on. So the next one, you don't have to consider bias. You can pick Xbox if you want, but you cannot hedge. You have to pick one. All right.
Okay.
No need to give us a reason. But what is the best current gen console? So Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S.
Or Luna.
I'm gonna go with Series X.
Let's go.
All
I
right.
like it.
Go.
I like it.
Guy.
Right.
One for the little
Right.
guy.
Look at you. I mean, come on, pick up. Come on, Loke. You
Pick
could
up
do
what?
better than that.
I'm not saying
Come
I'm not
on, man.
justifying it. That's just the truth. That's just how it is.
Wow.
It's a good
Completely
answer.
unsolicited
That's a
extras,
good
but
answer.
okay. Thank you. Really appreciate your candidness. Ham, carry on.
Okay, so no, you don't want to hit them super chats real quick before I ask
Yeah, let's do that. Let's
a couple
do that.
things before he has to get going.
4GQ TV with a $5 super chat says the physics of pineapple pizza does not make sense. Sir X-Man with a Sir X-Man with a super chat says, question, how addicted to Starfield is he? We need to get an answer before you leave, Seamus. And 4GQ TV also has another question. Seamus, do you believe in string theory or loop quantum theory? All right.
It means loop quantum gravity. Do I believe in it?
Yes.
All right. Well, string theory is easy. String theory is I believe string theory is like karate, and it's an elegant solution to a non-existent problem.
Non-existent.
Yeah, nobody goes into a bar and gets into a karate fight, right?
That's true.
It's a
That's true.
specific thing that you do for training, and it's beautiful and it's cool. And I think string theory may be the ultimate answer to everything, but right now it's just a super elegant way to model a bunch of stuff. There's no way to test if it's real or not, and it doesn't really give us any answers about anything that we didn't already know. It's like a parallel way to describe everything that's like really beautiful. And people get off on the beauty, and it's really cool, and I agree it's really cool.
Not very functional.
But that's what it is. Yeah. I mean, it's not giving us any answers. It's not explaining why the universe is the way that it is. And then on loop quantum gravity, man, like all quantum theories of gravity, like why do you need gravity to be quantized? Like it's an interesting question. It's like, oh, we have to have a theory of gravity that's quantum. We have general relativity, which exactly explains everything we've ever seen except dark matter. And we can't explain dark matter, but we also don't think dark matter is quantum. So why are we trying to do quantum? And so this is really like a crisis. It's like, what are we doing? What are we spending our time on? And it's heavily biased by what you can get funding to work on. It's heavily biased by what's cool and what your friends are doing. And it's maybe not biased enough by like what's going to give us an answer that's going to help the human race out. I mean, if I'm honest.
I hope that answered the question. As for Starfield addiction level, where are we at?
Well, look, I mean, I'm an old guy, and so I started out playing those kinds of games with something called Elite, which is a very, very, very old game. And I kind of got that type of addiction out of the way. Then I had a very traumatic experience as a very early proponent of No Man's Sky before it got all fixed up, right? I was
This man cried.
Oh.
And then it came out, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, it's Trespasser for the Stars," and all this kind of nasty shit they said. So I'm going to give it a 6. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. But it would be a 10 out of 10, I think, if I was younger.
Do the loading screens bother you? I'm sorry, I know it wasn't part of the question.
Bother me. Loading screens drive me insane. I am an incredible addict of Skyrim. Okay, and I have like a level 300 character. Like I walk into a room and everything just fucking dies. Right, that's like where I'm at.
Yeah, that's the game that made you cry, right? Skyrim.
So, but I got Skyrim on Switch, right? And the reason I got it wasn't because I needed to play it on Switch. It was because they fixed the loading screens. It loads really fast. And it transformed the game. I did it all through again. And I feel like that some work maybe, perfect. There you go. That's all I've said. I don't want to in any way criticize that team because it's fucking awesome. But
all right, cool. I'm good.
It could load more stuffs at different times.
I had a solution. How do you feel about my possible solution? A long screen, a long loading screen when you land on a specific planet, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
The problem with that is that's not the problem that they have to solve. They're solving problems with memory segmentation and other stuff with the way that that specific engine has to work, and it can't load it all at one time. It can't do it. It doesn't know what to load. Yeah. It's tough.
Interesting answer.
We've given the we've given the impression to players that you can have these infinite worlds and now like infinite universes where you can fly anywhere and land on anything, go to other planets and shit. Then it's all streaming continuously, right? But
Yes.
actually, it is very, 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 very hard to write these engines, and they are very, very, very advanced pieces of software, and it is not easy to get it to seem, all continuous like that. And the load is where you see a little bit how hard it is.
Well, here's a like a kind of a point one kind of update to this question. I'm curious as to like how you feel about modding being put into a game, and like there are some people that say you're giving this opportunity to the modders to make the game so you don't have to do anything, so you can just sit back
No,
and just.
dude, that's
How do you
crazy.
feel about answers like that?
Where do we get game developers from? Do they
Modding
get
community.
picked from trees? Do they fall from the heavens? Where do game developers come? Where do the people come from who are willing to destroy their lives to make you games, right? They currently come from the modding community. Like, Jesus, just like, yes, more is better. Let it happen. This is a thing also, like we talked about Africa earlier. Like, one of the problems is, you give those guys the games, let them mod them, let them distribute them. That's how you get game studios. That's how you get groups of friends who come together who will work well together virtually or in person or a combination of the two. And they end up like modding a game a bunch and getting really good at it and then coming up with a new idea for a new game. And boom, then we have Starfield. Boom, then we have Skyrim. That's how it happens. You got to do that. That's where it comes from. That's a source. That's not a disadvantage, man. That's the spring that you get your fresh water from, man.
Okay. All
That's a
right.
good
Now,
answer.
But what's
just
your real answer? Yeah. How do you really feel, Seamus?
but just to ask real quick, how much time do you have before you got to get going?
I got to get going pretty soon. It's at some point soon. A woman called Lori Lee is going to appear in the window here and make a nasty face at me, and I'll need to go.
Oh, well, shout out to Lori for hooking this all up and getting this set up for you. So I
Yeah,
appreciate
by the way, she is the best
her
of
for all
the
the work.
best. Yeah.
Yeah,
And she
yeah,
would
super
never
nice
give-
with all the emails and everything.
Yeah, she would never give anybody a nasty face but me. That's a job.
Good.
She's only allowed.
Good.
She's only allowed to be mean to me.
She needs to keep you in line, brother. I'm sorry, but she needs to
Oh,
do
you
that.
have no idea.
But okay, so I guess we'll try to just use the rest of this time as wisely as possible. But another question I kind of had for you was like, just going forward with whole Apple and everything, like I was kind of talking about earlier, how do you see this kind of consolidation era of gaming ending up? Do you think that like it's possible for, I mean, I've been hearing people talk about like, oh, Apple should pick up Sony, or maybe
Yeah.
Sony should try to get Take-Two or this. Like, where do you see this kind of either slowing down, changing, or getting intensively crazier?
Well, look, it's all based on games. Games are what make the money, right? So, think about this. How much does it cost and how much risk can you take making a new game if you have to ship it on one platform? Now, how about if it has to work on that platform and also Windows? Now, how about if it has to work on that platform and also Windows and also something else? Suddenly, like the cost and the amount of infrastructure to do that becomes extraordinary, right? You can't do it anymore. It doesn't make any financial sense. You're never going to start anything. And if you are starting games, it's only going to be a port of something that everybody knows is going to be successful because you're not going to lose money on it, right? Because you have a room full of faceless business assholes that you just sell your idea to, none of whom make games, none of whom play games. They all just look at spreadsheets all day and look at returns on investment, right? So this consolidation, right, which is what this is all called, causes the number of places where new ideas can come from to go down. You think, oh man, it would be awesome if like Apple bought PlayStation and then they bought, I don't know, I don't want to even speculate.
Like Disney?
Story, but no, shush.
Hey.
Okay, so we know who is not backing.
No, but the truth is, that you would take 3 or 4 sources of new games and new interesting ways to play and new ideas and new places for game developers to go to get financing for a game and suddenly make them one. Okay, so it'd be like if all the restaurants you eat at around your house all became the same restaurant and they started to meld their menus together and every location became the same. You wouldn't be happy. Now, you'd think they might pitch it to you and say, hey, if we all go together, we'll be able to make even more cool food like the food that you love that's even better. They'd pitch it to you that way, right? But you know what would happen is the menus would all become the same because it saves them money and it goes faster. And you just have the same restaurant, right? It's like the movie Demolition Man when every restaurant was Taco Bell, right? That happens. And I'm worried about that happening. And even if you just think of it like a game developer, if you're an indie developer, you have a great idea for a game and you have a great track record, you can go to a number of publishers right now and potentially get a deal to actually make that game, right? Every time that they like amoeba like morph together, like, right? There's one less buyer, there's one less potential place to go to get financing, right? That's not good. That's not good. Okay. And you know, and I look, and I don't mean to be so critical because I love this content, but you brought up Disney, so look at Star Wars and Kathy Kennedy's a friend of mine. I love her, but like, you know, they're pumping out more stuff than ever, and it's all the same. And it's like, you know, I mean, I get it. I love Jon Favreau. In fact, I'm repairing Jon Favreau's Qbert machine. It's in the next room. But you know, he's done all these Star Wars shows now, and they're like Favreau shows, and I love them, but they're all the same. I'm like, where's the new take? And they take Ahsoka, who's this great character who I loved, and had this amazing like new kind of like Star Wars vibe going on, and now she's been like unified into the Disney Star Wars universe also with this show. Yeah, and again, I don't want to take anything away from like Rosario Dawson or these people. I mean, and it's awesome, and I love so many scenes from that show. But it also means that there are fewer opportunities for totally new shit to happen. Because although a big conglomerate will tell you, "Oh, look, we're going to make all this content," the truth is, you go from having many places you can go with an idea to make something new, and it becomes just one group of people who make the decisions for that. Okay, and I'm not saying that's always bad, but it's not great for diversity. It's just not.
Okay. I got one other question that's kind of going.
Shit out of you guys. I'm really sorry.
No,
I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. This is no. This is.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir. Keep going. Keep going.
No. I'm just listening and then wondering what to say next. And I have something to actually say right now. I'm kind of curious as to, like, with that being said, with all of what you just said, especially with the whole beginning part, you see Sony, they're kind of doing things, I don't know, kind of, in my opinion, I feel like they're toe dipping in a lot of different things, but not really getting really in there. And what I'm kind of getting at is, like, you know, you look at the subscription service, you look at the PC part of it, you look at just kind of the way they're kind of going about the cloud and stuff like that. I'm wondering if you think PlayStation is on the up and up, they're kind of just baselined, or if they're kind of tanking right now. Because if you kind of look at their recent category of games, they've either been sequels or remakes. They haven't been any like new IPs from Sony first party.
Sony's secret weapon is the first party operation and the third party operation. So so as a game developer, you look at Sony. There are different ways. You look at Sony and Xbox and Nintendo. As a game developer, Sony is a big family where there's a lot of positive support and resourcing of people with ideas. I mean, I brought up No Man's Sky, right? Huge disaster when it came out, right? What did they do? What did Shu do? Shu kept supporting Jonathan.
Double down.
And yeah, and you know what? It got better and better. Now it makes them a lot of money. Like, that is an amazing thing for a game developer. Right? I mean, think about that. Like, what an example does that sets. I'm going to go work with Sony, and they're going to really support my idea and my vision. And when they say we support your vision, they don't just mean we support your vision right up until like the first focus test says that people don't like it. I mean, we support your vision because we're going to believe in it. We're going to make it work. Okay, that sends one message. And so you do see failures, and you do see games that don't work out of them, and they do stick with them. And it can be frustrating as a Sony fan. I know to like see them doing stuff that seems like it's not good. You don't agree with it. It's fine, but that's their culture, and it comes from, I believe, this origin story that I talked to you about, where Kutaragi-san said, "Okay, these are bands, and the games are albums, and we have to support our roster of bands, just as if we were running the Sony Music Group. That's how we made all our money." And bands have good albums and bad albums. And if you drop every band that had a bad album, I mean, you know, and I've seen a study about this, you like lose like 70% of the music industry because bands do a bad album and then they come out with a great thing. And especially now where it's down to like single drops of tracks, like, you know, if you have one that doesn't hit, will you dump the act? No. And so that's Sony's philosophy. Okay, now Xbox is a more corporate thing. So sometimes they're supportive, sometimes they're not. I've heard people, my good friend Kevin, characterize Microsoft as a baby with a submachine gun sitting on a giant pile of money. And sometimes the baby just gives you money and it's cooing and it's happy. And sometimes for no reason at all, the baby just fucking kills everyone. Okay. And that's just how big corporations are.
Damn.
Microsoft and a big corporation can
Jesus.
be like that. And so sometimes they're supportive and sometimes they kill stuff and sometimes they buy Activision and sometimes they make dumb decisions about games. And it's because Microsoft's core ethos isn't entertainment. And it's just, they're going to always be a little bit like that. Right. And then there's Nintendo, which is like the mafia. It's like all in the family. It's very opaque. You never know what the hell's going on. They own everything. They own everything about everything. They own every use of everything about everything. Nobody tells anything about it to anybody about any use of anything at any time. Blah, 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 blah. But they're very, very good at it. And it tends to just get better with time. So, you know, you have these different approaches. And as a developer, you look at them very differently, right? So when you say things like, you know, Sony seems like they're just dipping their toe in the water, I think, you know, sure, right now it can seem that way, but that's really just a temporal bias, right? That's just one snapshot you're seeing of, I think, a bigger process that goes on with Sony that goes up and down. And I would say Sony is a lot more consistent in the way that they release games, and people characterize this as Sony has exclusives and Xbox never. Okay, sure, but the real reason behind that is Sony is very patiently expending capital to support developers because they believe that long term those developers are going to come with franchises that make them a ton of money. And sometimes they miss, and when they miss, it seems like they stick with stuff that, and I'm not going to mention anything, but you can think of games that Sony kept supporting. Right?
Oh, man.
Whereas Xbox and other and game publishers have been like Activision or Electronic Arts, like when a game doesn't perform, they tend to like, boom, you're gone, you're out. And you know that has its own risk as well. That's not always the right strategy, nor is sticking with it all the time the right strategy. But how do you manage that? It's really hard. And when you're in charge of one of those businesses and you have all that responsibility, it's hard to think clearly a lot of times. It's hard to view it. You know, they say about race car driving, right? To be successful, you have to drive the car like you hate it. Drive it like you hate it. You have to destroy your car to win. If you love your car, you can't win. Right?
Yeah.
And it's really hard to drive a big corporation like that, like you hate it. Because your bonus and your family and the fancy school your kid goes to, or the Mercedes you just bought, or whatever the fuck these executives have, they're concerned about that. And that might be at odds with the decision you want to make, your own life safety, about like greenlighting some stuff that you think is a good idea because you might get a bad review. And I'm not down on those guys. I get it. It's terrifying. It's terrifying as hell. You know, having kids, putting them in college, whatever, it's terrifying as hell. So am I going to lose my job to do the right thing, or am I going to do a corporate thing and like pick a game that's really, really boring, but I think is going to make its numbers so I get a good review? This kind of stuff happens all the time. That's how these decisions get made. These decisions are not made like gamers think they're made. And with that, I need to go.
That's interesting.
That's too much. That's too much real, man. Jeez.
Yeah. That was a hefty load right there. I appreciate you so much.
Man.
Thank you so much,
Dude,
Seamus, for coming through and being on the show today. Listen to our bullshit, answering our questions and whatnot. Hopefully, we can see you sometime down the line in the future again. I'd love to be able to do this again. and have you on, talk about some more stuff as the industry unfolds throughout the time. So who knows if it's 6 months, a year or two, whatever. But I'd love to definitely keep you around if that's possible at some point again.
I mean, we will hang out. We will watch it unfold like an origami from a psychotic old man. I will talk to you guys soon. And it's nice hanging out with you guys. It was like the highlight of my day.
Ciao.
That's what's
Appreciate
up.
you.
That's what's up.
It was great.
Love hearing it, brother. Thank you so much for popping on here. Salute to you, and you have a great rest of your day and a good weekend, brother.
You guys have a great weekend.
See ya.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Good.
So hopefully everybody in the chat, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. He was on since the beginning of the show, so if you missed any of it, he spit some absolute facts and uncomfortable facts for some. But yeah, that was really nice. How'd you guys think about that show up from Seamus? I'm gonna go with you first, Loke, and then I'm gonna go around, and then Loke, I want you to take the show and steer it back into what we usually be doing.
Actually, Ham, if you don't mind today, because my voice is killing me. You got the subject.
You want me to take
bro.
it today?
Go ahead.
You only gave me 2.
Yep. Trust me, it's plenty.
Okay, I haven't even looked at him yet. All right, well, fine. Let me go to Matt first. How'd you feel about having him on the show and saying
That was fucking dope.
and did he answer your question?
He answered my question. I probably could have asked it a little bit better, but the answer I got was interesting because I didn't I didn't kind of put that question together properly in my head, but the answer I got was very interesting with how they got Tomb Raider up and running on the prototype and Bill Gates' reaction to that. I enjoyed it.
The shit reaction.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, you hear about Bill Gates having reactions to things. It sounds like his reactions were always kind of like that.
Yeah. It's just not good enough. He's like the fucking Gordon Ramsay in computers. It's just never good enough. But anyways, Cozy, you asked some wild fucking questions, and you, of course, were doing what you do, eating yo crazy shit, and somehow, of course, the guest agrees with what you're eating while I'm sitting here shocked, wondering what the fuck. You bite it, and I'm just like, I just don't understand it.
Because you're old.
That's what it is.
You're older. Oh, okay, Cozy. You like to call me. You like to tell me that I'm a little kid, and then you look at me and call me old. I need you to pick a lane.
It's whatever lane I need it to be to win the argument.
Ah, fuck off.
Cozy's
Anyways,
a
what'd you think
Cozy's
about all
a
that?
Teenager.
Oh, it was great.
Right.
It was great. He had a lot of great opinions, a lot of great, insights. Absolutely.
Dope. Yeah, you asked some pretty weird shit for sure. But now, Loke, brother, what'd you think of that? Did he answer everything the way that you would like? Because you're very analytical. Let's keep it a buck. You're very analytical.
Yeah, it was a nice conversation. It was a bit brief, but yeah, definitely worth everyone's time. I can't wait to get another chance to speak without having like the rush, But yeah, interesting insight. He's a cool dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go on ahead and carry on with
how he was candid.
Go ahead.
I like how he was candid about why Africa is like almost ignored. I thought he was going to skirt around it.
No, he was. I told you he's uncensored. I told you he's uncensored. He is not Mr. Suit and Tie. When I had him on my podcast and he came through and he was cussing and shit, I was just like, oh okay, we doing this. All right. We're doing this. This is for real. Like, and it got me excited and pumped. So when he said he is coming back to be on this show, I was thrilled because I already knew. And Loke was he's a little worried, like, oh man, I think I don't want him,
the
beating
word is
around the
reticent.
bush.
The word is reticent, Ham. Not worried.
You didn't want him. You didn't want him beating around the bush about nothing, and he didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't beat
one of the
around with shit.
Like I'm not even trying to act like a snob or anything, but I'm not trying to waste time, with guests. If tomorrow, like, no offense to Sarah Bond, but if tomorrow there's an opportunity to have a sit down with Sarah Bond, personally, I'm not like super thrilled about the idea of doing that, because it'll be too corporate. Like he said, a lot of things when you've got money involved and billions of dollars and whatever, a lot of people they don't react well. They get cautious, and it's not just in game development, but also in just how people interact. So I was very happy with how he seemed, very chill. That was nice.
Yeah, he doesn't have to answer to any of these people either, though, so he was able to just let it rip.
Yeah, that helped.
Right. For real. But all right, so let's go on ahead and move on to the topics at hand, which, speaking of Sarah Bond, as you just got done talking about, Loke, our first topic that we're here to talk about today. Oh, what the hell? Why isn't this popping up? Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. These fucking nuts. I know. But anyways, oh man, this is way too big. No, make him laugh. I want him in pain.
Make him.
Wow.
Tell a
I mean,
joke.
I agree, but I think
it feels
every ounce
it sounds
of your
right.
pain, Loke, adds another year to my life.
There you go. Now we're talking. All right. So Microsoft reorganizes Xbox leadership, promoting Sarah Bond and Matt Booty. Microsoft is making some internal moves, preparing for Xbox's future. This article is written by Christina Alexander of the filthy IGN.
Oh God!
Right, Loke?
The disgrace of a publication.
That's
all right. So part of the article says The Verge published an internal memo from Xbox CEO Phil Spencer today, where he wrote to the staff that Microsoft will promote Sarah Bond to president of Xbox, putting her in charge of all software and hardware platforms. That, it should be noted, may include the redesigned diskless Xbox Series X that could release next year, and a next-gen hybrid Xbox console in 2028. Interesting to hear. Which both leaked in FTC documents, of course. Matt Booty, meanwhile, has been promoted to president of gaming content and studio, which includes the responsibility of overseeing operations at ZeniMax and Bethesda. The studio will continue operating as a limited integration entity, but will report to Matt Booty to manage the platform of today and build the platform of tomorrow. We are bringing together the teams that will make this possible, Spencer said in the memo. Sarah Bond will lead this team as president of Xbox, bringing together devices, player, and creator experiences, platform engineering, strategy, business planning, data and analytics, and business development. Microsoft confirmed to IGN the promotions are accurate, but had no further comment. So what do you guys think about this article right here? I mean, obviously the big piece of it is Sarah Bond and Matt Booty getting promoted. Yeah. What do you guys think about like what will happen with that being done? I'm gonna go to you first, Lo, on this.
Man, I wish I was well because I have so many questions. First off, Cozy, when you're giving your response to Ham, I'd like you to give us your perspective of what you think. Like, for Black women, is this a thing? Is this very significant? Is this nothing?
That's
How do you
interesting.
feel about this specifically? As for me, Ham, I'm just curious. Like, these shifts and changes, right? And this is not me being a console warrior or anything, but these shifts
Yeah, it
and
is.
changing. What? Why is it? Ugh. Oh my God! Why is it that when there's shifts and changes in the PlayStation leadership, it's the end of the world, but when there's shifts and changes in the Xbox leadership, it's just organic growth, and we are all super excited about the change.
I'm ready to put a
answer that.
muzzle on you right now.
I
I'm ready to
can-
put a
I'm-
muzzle on you right
I
now.
I mean,
Because no. Let me touch this real quick.
Yeah,
Because
go
Loke is
ahead.
out of his goddamn mind.
yeah, go
with
ahead.
this answer right here. I've heard nothing but slander from Xbox when it comes to moving folks around. This is one of the first times in Xbox, in the history of Xbox and on, or for this generation at least specifically, that people are actually applauding a movement from Xbox in the in the management or leadership positions. Usually it's people leaving, or they are mismanagement, so they're calling in backup. Remember Joseph Staten? Remember that?
Yeah.
So I think the whole ideology of whenever Xbox does something, it's looked at as good, but when PlayStation does it, it's bad. No, in this specific situation, it's Xbox. They just got done with an acquisition, and they need to re-manage some of the people within their company. So this looks good because they just did that. They just got the biggest acquisition in the world, right? So obviously they need to make some moves. Some moves are gonna happen. For PlayStation on the other side, it's like it's like dominoes going in a bad direction, right? So it's just like you start off the year with Forspoken, which didn't hit as well, and it's not even a first party game, but it's something that you really relied upon. Okay. You already had forecasted that, hey, we only really kind of got Spider-Man. Here's Chia, but nobody cared.
Chia
and then
was
you
a
have the
net
showcase. And then you have a showcase that takes a lot of wind out of people's sails. Something that people were like, we've been waiting a couple years for this. And it's just and it just flounders. And then you see Jim Ryan's taken no, wait a second. Then Final Fantasy comes out and doesn't perform as well as some people thought it would. Then a second little state of play happens and it's not as exciting. It was supposed to be the secret showcase, the show, the secret sauce, right? Didn't do it. And then Jim Ryan soon after says, we're out. Naughty Dog seems a little dysfunctional because Bungie says, yo, your game ain't it. And then here comes this news about somebody not leaving on their own terms, but getting fired. So like, if you just like put all that in a box and then say, well, they're making management changes. And then you put everything I said about Xbox with, they just got that deal solidified. They've had a good year with games other than the one with Redfall, but they've had several other games to try to, mask the way that looks. And then at the same time, fixing that game that had all those issues.
Yeah.
You put that in a box and then you say, which one looks like they know what they're doing?
Yeah.
I think you got a clear answer on your question right there, Lo, for just this specific subject.
That's exactly what I was about to say too. It's like, when's the last time? I'm sure it's happened recently, but I can't think of it. Curious if you can. When's the last time someone was promoted within? Someone was positively promoted within PlayStation, and everybody in the PlayStation community went unanimously, "That's great. I love that. I love that for PlayStation." I mean, I can't think of. It's also PlayStation executives. Nobody we don't care about them because they don't they're not in the public. Like they're not on Twitter like Sarah Bond tweeting daily. They're not on Twitter like Phil Spencer. They're not engaging with the community. So nobody cares when someone at PlayStation gets promoted or fired or whatever. Versus Sarah Bond getting her promotion, Matt Booty getting his promotion, Phil Spencer last year getting his promotion. It's like, oh, that's cool because he's a part of the community. Like it feels like you know that person, even though you don't. Feels like you know that person.
Yeah, it feels like Phil Spencer has been on everyone's podcast.
Yes, it feels like it.
Like he's probably been here. I just don't remember.
Exactly. At some point he was. I can't think of when, but he was at some point.
Name a time recently that anybody from Sony leadership has been in front of the fans.
Exactly. Like, can't. It's impossible.
Not the culture though. That's the other thing to remember.
100%. It's not the same culture, and that's why
it isn't.
That's why the answer to Luke's question is so it's two different cultures. One is a very community based thing. The other one's very corporate, which is weird to say because you think of Microsoft, that's corporate versus Sony. But in this situation, in this specific situation, in this specific instance, Xbox versus PlayStation, PlayStation seems like the more corporate one. The one that's more about business, less about you having fun or relationships or any engagement with the community. It doesn't care about that. It's like flip-flopped on how it should be.
Yeah, Xbox gives you kind of the feeling that you're part of their process, as to where Sony does their best to make sure that they're presenting it to you, the audience.
Yes.
You don't speak. You just.
Well,
I mean, I'm not saying in a disrespectful way.
Yeah, I know.
But when you go to the movies, you don't speak. You know what I mean? You just watch.
Yeah.
Right? When you go to a play, you don't conversate with the people on stage. You watch, you leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But as for Xbox, they're the ones that are like, here's the show where you watch, but here's the address to the after party, where you can see what happens. You can see the deleted scenes. You can actually even be part of it. Yeah. You know? It's just that energy is 100% different. Both can be very detrimental to success or failure, but I feel like in this current situation, especially with as noisy as Xbox has been, I think it's to their benefit to be noisy right now and excited and happy. As for Sony, with the moves that they're making, I can't even deny it, although I don't like it. It's probably smart that they're quiet, because they're making some moves that a lot of us would say is pretty damn questionable. Yep. And they're literally, and a lot of people want to deny this shit, but let's keep it a buck. Sony is flipped on its head right now and it's trying stuff that it's not used to. It's like watching a seasoned gymnast that does all their work on the map get into Olympic swimming. And it's like, yo, you're really good, but
just not this.
This looks different. You know, this is you, Jordan. You sure you want to go play baseball? Jordan,
Hey, Jordan,
you're
was
playing
good, man.
baseball.
He was good. He was good.
He was
great.
good.
Yeah,
exactly. That's my point.
Matter. It doesn't matter that he was good because he's fucking Jordan. Why are you doing something else when you keep playing basketball? Play basketball. Playing baseball.
You're showing that you're versatile. You're showing that you're versatile, but a lot of people are questioning your motives. So
that's true too.
So it's just like,
do what
I mean, like I said, it's just, well, no, I'm not saying do what you're good in specifically, because at the end of the day, it's your life, right? It's your company. You know, do what you think is best for it, right? But don't expect everybody to agree with your decisions. But hopefully what you're doing can pan out and turn around. Obviously, we've seen what happened with Jordan. He played baseball for a little while, for obvious reasons why he played baseball, because his whole dad and everything like that, right?
And the gambling. Why are we pretending that wasn't a thing?
No, it was. It was.
But eventually he found his way back to what he was the best at.
Yeah.
And it was only a stint. So, I mean, that could possibly be what Sony's doing. Is they're, going over here, and nobody likes that, but we're going to be quiet for a little while. And just give you that, and then we'll come back and do what we do.
I'm going to play some
It might be that. Ah, man. You ruined it. You ruined it. Anyways, Cozy on this, or actually, Matt, you haven't even answered the actual question. You're just answering low. Matt, what do you think about this whole Microsoft recognizes Xbox leadership promoting Sara Bond and Matt Booty? What do you think, brother?
I think it's fantastic. Especially, I mean, if Pete Hines is gone now, having Matt Booty there to be like, I think it'd be nice to have Matt Booty there regardless whether Pete Hines is there or not, to either help Pete Hines or in this case just replace kind of what he was doing. But like, you need to integrate those Bethesda and Xbox better than you have been doing, because I mean, the big glaring example being Redfall, of like, Xbox is over here doing this thing and Bethesda's way the fuck over there doing whatever, and they'll come over and check on Starfield, but then you got Arcane over there with Redfall, just like, someone please fucking help us, and they're just, I don't know. But now, hopefully going forward with that integration, or that one person kind of looking over all of it, those problems don't arise again. And if they do, not nearly as often, you would hope. And they would be able to be stomped out pretty quickly. As for Sara Bond, I mean, good for her. I kind of feel like, I mean, I forget, what's her, do you know her official new title?
President of Xbox.
President of Xbox. Yeah.
Who? Yeah, Sara Bond is president. Yeah, president of Xbox.
Did you just say just him?
Yeah, good for her.
Well, I was talking because what's gonna call it? Because Matt Booty is the president of the whole games and like content or something like that, if I remember reading.
Yeah,
probably.
So like, yeah, exactly. Good for her. She deserves it. I mean, she's been doing what she does for
gaming content studios. Sorry,
feels like forever. Yeah, because Matt Booty is overlooking both Bethesda and Xbox now. He's kind of doing what he was doing before, from what I understand, but now with doing it also at Bethesda, which is, that's good for integration, like I was saying. But yeah, I think it's well deserved. Bobby Kotick was on that list, and I mean, he's not going to be
Yeah,
there
that was
very
wild.
long. He's not going to be there very
That was
long.
wild.
But yeah, it was interesting to see them mention him.
It was weird seeing him so low in a list, right?
Yeah,
Usually
right?
he's the top dog, and now he's just kind of part of the crew. You know?
Now he's just a
You
guy.
sound like you're really enjoying that.
He's
Yeah,
just
I
a
am.
guy now. Just some
He's just
dude.
he's just another guy getting told what to do.
Exactly.
By Big Philly,
Oh yeah.
Right?
Dominus, Maximus, Aurelius. Right, Lo. Can you say his last name for me?
Kicking the door.
You said it with such gall. I'm proud of you, bud. But anyways, Cozy.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this? And then also, like Loke was kind of trying to get at, but of course he's sick, so he had to say it early because he can't do what I do right now. You know what I'm saying? He can't do that. But what do you think about this whole situation? Then on top of it, like how do you feel about the sister being enrolled? You know, like driving the ship, big girl doing big things. You know what I'm saying?
It's perfect. It was honestly just, I've said this before, it was the expected continuation of all the work that she's put in. You know, she's been there, she's been doing the work, and this is just, the results of it coming to fruition. I don't think they could have picked a better person. I mean, she has and it's hilarious because it's like I have seen people, questioning her credentials, and I'm like,
that's crazy.
Excuse me?
What for?
Excuse me? Yeah.
So what kind of questioning have you seen? Like you don't have to say it word for word, but
I've definitely seen the diversity hire comments.
Oh shit.
Which is nuts.
Oh
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, it's like nuts. Like, I guess,
tragic.
But yeah, she's, congrats to her. It's, deserved, earned, worked for. It is going to be interesting to see, her, how she operates and does things, because she is a little more corporate, a lot more corporate.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you about how you felt with, what Seamus was saying with, she's going to be, I mean, she comes from what do you say, like a Harvard corporate background and stuff like that. And you could kind of, and then that's when, during that conversation, I pointed at Loke and said, Loke, you're saying past performances. What was it, Loke? I always forget it. That's why I always say your name.
Present.
You're muted, Loke, brother.
He's muted.
We can't hear you.
Past performance informs future results.
There
I
you
don't want you guys to be hearing me coughing all the time. My bad.
No, I appreciate that. But yeah, so with that being said, Cozy, do you feel like, Xbox has always kind of been teased a little bit about how corporate they are outside of gaming? Because we talked about them in gaming, it feels like Sony's a little bit more corporate.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So just what do you think that Sarah Bond can bring to the table? Or do you think that, I don't know, just answer that question.
I think sometimes they seem a bit like, when they talk about, we're hands off with our studios. I think sometimes that shows. And I think that's something that especially a corporate person would be more willing to be like, especially.
I hate to say this, Cozy, but you're coming in really quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Really quiet.
You don't have to say.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Why did you say that, Ham?
I mean, I know you guys heard me. You guys heard me just a moment ago. I said I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry. The sorry was not for Cozy. The sorry was for the rest of the panel, and the sorry was for the people in the chat and the folks watching. I'm like, I apologize, you guys, but Cozy, I can't hear you. What's wrong? Man, I need to figure out a better way to say that, because even with me apologizing, it still went left. But anyways, continue.
I can be louder.
No, you don't gotta do that.
Oh no. Okay.
It's cool.
Not anymore. You're fine now.
All I was gonna say is that I think in a way it can be beneficial, because I do feel like sometimes it seemed like they were a little too hands off with things, just a little. And I think especially someone with a more corporate background would be someone more pushy.
So you think
good
she's
way to
going to be
look at it.
much more aggressive than
Yes,
like a Phil?
I think, yeah,
And I
think,
agree with that.
just strictly based on
She
like
look like
background.
Mama don't play.
Strictly based on background, I think she's going to be a lot more aggressive than, or as much as it needs to be, more so than Phil.
She looks like she just seems to have this, like, you don't want to like disappoint her kind of energy that kind of goes off from her. Like I've never seen her be mad, look mad, or anything like that. But I imagine people don't want to see that, and they just do good for what she does.
That's why you've never
You know what I'm
seen it.
saying?
They're all
I'm-
terrified of her.
I mean, she honestly reminds me of my Aunt Vernita. Aunt Vernita, fantastic, beautiful lady, right? But I've seen her mad. Ugh.
Scary.
And it is just, I mean, it's one of those feelings where it's like, I see you mad and I'm a little nervous, but at the same time, I'm disappointed in myself that I made you.
Yep.
You know, it's a different kind of hurt. You know, it's a different kind of hurt. But I'm interested in how that evolves, and if that's going to continue to be the feeling, or if, I mean, because it could definitely turn. I don't think it will, but things always happen, and you never know. Give somebody a couple years, and it's just like, oh, they're running the ship, or oh, the shit, they're getting trampled, and they don't really know how to wrangle in the cattle. So time will tell, but it looks like from the way that she just kind of presents herself that it's like professional or go fuck yourself. But anyways, let's go on ahead and move on to the next topic, which Loke decides only give me 2 today, which is
Loke,
hella interesting. But he wasn't lying. He wasn't lying though, because this is the 2 that he gave me was really all you need. Because this second one, I feel like will close out the show kind of sweet. We've already been on for about an hour and 45 minutes. But this next one right here is, yes, it is. It is very chewy. I like the way you describe that. That's fantastic. But especially with what the fuck Cozy's been doing over there. What she's been doing is absolutely illegal. But anyways, Xbox partner
I still got the
preview.
left.
Stop it. I don't stop. Just put that somewhere else.
Stop it,
She
Cozy.
doesn't,
Eat that.
She doesn't eat,
Eat
she
that
doesn't
later.
eat the crust
Eat
on
it for
her gummy
dessert.
pizza.
I don't like
to
crust.
finish,
I don't
Cozy.
like crust on pizza either way.
I've never. Okay.
I only get the
I've
flattest
never
of the
understood
flat
that.
pizza that has like edge to edge cheese.
Man. And the crust is like the best part. I'm
No,
sorry. Go
the
ahead.
crust
Go
only
ahead.
exists to hold the toppings.
No. Okay. This is insane. Go ahead, him. Go ahead, bud.
It is
It's
insane.
crazy.
It is insane. But anyways, Xbox partner preview, October 2023, everything announced. And in my opinion, I think this is going to be a regular thing. Some people were talking about this being, something that happens a few times a year, possibly. And I don't think there's enough time in the year to have this a couple times a year. Just if you look at just this year in the showcases and the stuff that happened, I think what Xbox has done being out there showcase wise, has been very sufficient, especially if they somehow make their way to the Game Awards as well in a better presence than last year. Do they have to? No. But if they made a good presence there, that would be like the, just everything put together properly for a year and, keeping people in tuned and stuff like that. I'm going to go to you first on this one, Cozy, about the Xbox partner preview, because I know that you like all sorts of different types of games, and they don't and you're not one of these fanboy fangirls or whatnot where it's like first party has to be first party. You don't care. You just like a good game. What did you think about this show? We'll go by game, but I just want to know all together what you think about the show first.
So even it did not have really a whole lot that I was like, oh yeah, I liked what I saw. I liked the variety of what I saw. I thought it had, I mean, honestly, the variety was excellent. Something for everyone. There's some games that I really would like to discuss more of, so I'm not going to really get into great detail. But I honestly would like to see more of these type shows. Like, these are the type of shows that, something for everyone. I think, casting a wider net will catch you more fish. So when people are like, "Oh, we only want this specific subset of games," the more games that get visibility, the more variety, the more opportunity for all these other types of games for people to see, become aware of, and experience. So I thought it was a great show.
Okay, and then
Oh, I'm
what
sorry.
was your like favorite game of the show?
I don't remember the name of it.
What were they doing?
It was very colorful.
Is it the Dungeon of
Yes,
Hinterberg?
The Hinterberg. Yeah, that one. The Hinterberg one.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That one looks hot. It looks hot.
that one.
It does look hot. I mean, that's why I went straight to that one. I didn't even have to choose any other one. I was like, "What, you talking about that one right there?" Cozy, I'm starting to understand you a little bit better. All right, so let's go on ahead and move over to Matt. Matt, what'd you think about this showcase? And then, same question as Cozy. I almost said Kobe. As Cozy.
Kobe.
Kobe. But yeah, what did you think about the showcase, and what was your like favorite game shown? I know there were several good ones, but
Yeah.
as Loke says, pick one. No sidestep.
So the showcase itself, I give a 7 out of 10. I wasn't expecting much going in, and it actually beat my expectations. So maybe I give it 8 out of 10 because it beat my expectations. So to be fair, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. But picking a game, one single game out of that, Ikara Will Not Die. That game looks fucking awesome. I want to say Still Wakes the Deep, but Ikara Will Not Die is my game of the show for me, personally.
Okay. All right, so that's pretty interesting. We'll continue on with Loke, and then we'll kind of go through, or then I will do mine, and then we'll go through each game. So Loke, what
So
was
obviously-
what'd you think, and what was your favorite game?
Oh
First
no, I know
off-
what he's gonna say.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, time to mute Loke. Time to mute Loke.
Matt, why are you gonna do? Why are you doing this to me? I was
Oh
perfectly
my God.
composed. Why did you have to make me laugh? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I was composed as well, Matt, until you reminded me just by saying what you said, what was at the show, and then of course, super chat comes right in from who else? Mr. Joanna Dark, out here to let me know and let me remember that I have an absolute Kojima stan, not only to send these money chats, so I have to read this bullshit. But but also then I have to deal with the person on the panel that I decided for some dumb reason to call my brother. So so but Mr. Joy in the Dark with the $2 super chat saying Metal Gear Solid 3 remake on Unreal Engine 5 was the GOAT on the show. And I mean, it was very attractive looking.
It
I was
looks
giving
really
Loke a
good.
hard time. I was giving Loke a hard time the other day. He asked me what I thought about it. I said, but Loke, anyways, going ahead, talk about this is spit your bars, bro.
You know what, you already spit all them bars. Like I
Yeah,
don't gotta
fuck
do
off.
nothing, man. You done scored all the points for me, dog. Like I don't even need to suit up. I don't need to warm up. Like it's done. Thank you very much, Ham Solo. Thank you also, Mr. Joanna Dark. Let's move on. I mean, what
All
else
right,
is there to say?
so his
No,
favorite game
Ham, I
on
am not
there
about
was
to let this
Alan Wake.
happen. Oh, fuck!
Got it.
I knew you were gonna do this. I
Anyways.
knew it. No, Ham, I'm not gonna let you just skate by with this. No, the greatest game, or one of the greatest games of all time, from definitely the greatest gaming franchise of all time, was the big highlight for me. But in terms of impact, right? Overall impact, guys, I'm going to
Red Dead
continue
3.
making crazy predictions because they almost always end up turning out right, especially when it comes to like how games are going to develop. So the finals, guys, the finals is either going to dethrone or it's going to give Fortnite a run for its money.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
You think so?
that was my big takeaway from the show. Besides, obviously, I mean, why are we going to talk about water being wet? Why are we going to talk about the sky being blue? It's fine. Metal Gear is Metal Gear. It's amazing. Blah blah blah. The finals for me. Watch out. If you're a Fortnite
But
person,
is it intriguing to play for you? Or are you just saying this just from like the outside looking in?
no, from the outside looking in, looking at who's developing it, and I went to read the article, right, connected to it from the Wire and the interview. Obviously, these are not 100%, you know. Like remember the guy from No Man's Sky, what he promised before the game came out. But from the people that are making it and what they're promising, Fortnite is going to
So
sweat with this game in terms
something
of player
about the
count.
final. Okay, let me tell you something about the finals.
Well, first of
lis-
all, Cozy, do you agree or disagree with what Loke's saying?
I disagree. And hear me
Okay,
out.
continue.
As someone who did the hyenas beta, the finals looks exactly like hyenas, pretty much.
I've
Did you
vaguely
play
I'm not
that
even
heard
making that up.
hyenas.
I'm
Vaguely
not
heard
even making that up.
hyenas. I haven't seen
It
gameplay of it though.
it got what you call it. It got
Canceled?
canned, but yeah.
Oh
But
shit.
yeah, but the
Ooh.
finals is very similar in feel to hyenas.
I think that I think it could work, and only because it's at that point it's all just luck. It's like the hyenas could have, because I've vaguely heard of hyenas. Like I said, I never saw gameplay of it. I feel like for a game like this, it's all luck. It's like, are you lucky enough to market is your marketing good enough to push your game enough so that you're lucky enough that enough people give it a shot and enough people stick with it to build a community that you can then monetize. Because
Yeah,
there's a lot of lucky things that need to happen in that
and
scenario.
is there going to happen to be a lull in the Fortnite content
Yes.
window during like that period for like a month or 2 months? Because really, that's what it takes.
Yes.
But I see the finals being one of the games that has a legit chance to do it,
Yeah.
to do something we've
Oh,
all been like just tired of just talking about, and we know it's not going to happen.
Whoa. Yeah. And I hope you're right, honestly, because the finals looks really interesting. I actually do have some thoughts on the finals because I'm actually playing it right now, but like I was talking to Ham about it just yesterday. My thoughts on it. I think there's things they could do better, but when they showed that trailer, like everything they showed of this game just makes it look better and better. I do think they have
Yes.
a chance to do something really special. If again they get lucky enough and they stick with it long enough, that they can really do something with it.
Okay. Drawn TJ with the $2 super chat earlier. I accidentally, like we were in a heated discussion. So
Oh,
yeah. But anyways, drawn TJ with the $2 super chat saying, "Did My Little Pony Texan Loke get his answers?"
Oh my
He's talking
God.
about Seamus.
This guy.
You wanna answer that, Loke?
You're our little pony.
That's
I
cute.
did get my answers. Thanks for asking, John TJ. Your concern.
You could tell his
Um,
concern was very his concern
This
was
guy.
very real. But anyways, I actually never answered this part on the whole Xbox Partner Preview 2023. So personally, I think the show was pretty dang good. I give it a 7. Because
give
it
it a
was yeah, I'd give it a 7 if I'm gonna give it a rating. Because it showed me a lot of dope things. Some of them were pretty new, but some of them I already knew about. And like seeing the Arc one on there was really good, but I already knew that was coming. And the Metal Gear one, it was nice to get a more like it was nice to get more from Metal Gear, but I already knew that was coming too. I just didn't get to see that trailer. That trailer was a lot better than what was shown at the PlayStation Showcase preview.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just said a lot more, but there was definitely some things to get interested in. So let's go on ahead and go down the list. My personal favorite throughout the show, of course, if you know me at all, was Ark Survival Ascended, which I ended up getting into later on that evening, way later in that evening than they originally announced they were going to launch the game. They said one thing and then Flight Simmed me. Because Flight Sim, if you remember that for Series X when that first launched, they said like noon, and it didn't come out until way later in the day. But anyways, yeah, let's go on ahead and go pound for pound with each game that they had. So I'm gonna go on ahead and start out and get this filthy game out of the way, and that's Metal Gear Solid
Hey.
3. Or what are they calling it now?
What do you mean?
Solid.
It's a
It's a Metal Gear Solid collection.
Snake Eater.
No, it's okay.
It's
They
the
are calling it
remake.
3. I thought they had
Yeah,
new
it's the
names
remake.
for these.
Yeah. You're right.
New
They
game
have
plus.
a new name for it.
Plus new game.
Delta.
Oh
Yeah,
my
there we go.
God.
Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. So I'm gonna go with you, Cozy. What'd you think of that?
Snooze.
Are you finally gonna get into Metal Gear?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
Loke.
not. There's nothing that you could do to sell me on any of those games.
You don't want some Naked Snake?
God damn.
Why would you put it like that, man? Why would you put it
I just
like
read
that?
Mr. Joanna Dark's chat. Like he just said Snake, Naked Snake, and I just said, Cozy really doesn't want Naked Snake.
Oh my God.
I know Luck loves the Naked Snake.
Oh, he sure does.
He's like, give it to me.
Well, you know that much.
Probably calling Snake Daddy and saying, give it to me.
It's Snake Daddy. Daddy Snake.
He's not even denying it.
No, he knows.
I know. Look, he's rubbing his lips, which is like He even licked his lips right there. This man is thirsty. Oh,
Mr.
shit.
Joanna Dark. Yes, I did see that
Dehydrated.
they de-aged. They de-aged Snake. He does actually look young. It's amazing. It's a thing of beauty. That's what it is.
Man.
Yeah, Yodani Kozada with the $2 super chat saying, "Can you shoot glizzies off in the RoboCop game?" I don't know. You shoot hot dogs? I don't know.
No. Unless it's a glizzy, bro. What are we talking about?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
You ain't trying to talk about that.
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what to say. But anyways, all right, Matt.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Your thoughts on it?
Looks interesting. I will likely check it out. They didn't give a year for that's not next year, is it? Like they didn't say that, I don't believe. Did they?
I didn't see any date that I know of.
Yeah, I don't think it's been announced. So yeah, I mean it depends on when it comes out, but yeah, I would be interested in that. Almost certainly.
I could see it coming out next year around the holiday season. I could totally see that happening.
That would be interesting.
Especially since it's a remake.
I just wonder what all would come out around the holiday season if that's coming out then, because it's like, I bet you that's when Avowed's going to be coming, and then plus all the stuff we don't know about, just third party stuff. PlayStation probably has something. It's gonna be busy. I feel like it's gonna be busy, but I'm interested. Nonetheless,
It's
am
already
interested in
busy.
that game. That's what I'm saying. I think like people see this year and they're like, "Damn, this was busy." I feel like 2024 might just be as busy, if not more.
It might not, like 2024 might not have as many like tentpole title games. I mean, like I don't think you'll see another Baldur's Gate next year. You might see like an expansion or something like that.
I forgot
You're not going to see another
firework.
Oh my god! You're not going to see another. Like I don't know if Hellblade will hit like Starfield did. I think it's gonna definitely hit, but I don't know if it's gonna hit like Starfield did, just because the cachet behind Bethesda is really mean, and it's very, very large crowd.
But also Hellblade is just boring.
Well, that's cozy.
Oh my goodness.
That's cozy.
I was gonna
for
say that's insane, but then I realized cozy said it, and I'm like,
okay.
Someone actually said to me like, "Oh, I bet you'll play Hellblade now it's on Xbox and be praising." I was like, "No, I thought the first one was boring."
I'm
like,
wow.
Right.
And cozy's
Logan's angry typing right now. Logan's angry typing.
I'm sorry, it's boring. I would have liked it if it was just a puzzle game.
Oh my goodness. Okay, fine. But yeah, okay. Matt likes the game. I already know what Logan's gonna say, so I'm just gonna skip him. He's just
there we go.
He wants him some naked snake.
Yeah.
Wait.
Show us your hands, Loke. No, never mind. Don't show us your hands.
No, this man, you don't want to see him because he has not washed. He is not washed them things.
Nobody wants to see that.
He hasn't washed them greasy mitts in a long time. You should keep them hands down, brother. Keep them hands down. But anyways, let's go ahead to the next game, which is actually shocking a lot of different people. Especially with its demanding PC specs, but that is Alan Wake 2. I want to hear from each of you about Alan Wake 2. I'm going to start off with you again, Cozy. I want you to tell me what you think about this game with the whole horror aspect.
Cool, I guess. I looked at the first one and I thought it was boring, so I'm not touching this one either.
This seems like a cozy game.
I think Remedy literally makes games that I think I just don't like. All their games feel like they've controlled like crap and make me nauseous.
Damn.
4GQ TV with a $2 super chat saying, Loke, wants Jalen Hurts to dress as Solid Snake. Look, you want to address that?
I already addressed it, but I'll address it again. You know what? I want anyone to dress as Solid Snake except for the pitiful Jimmy Garoppolo. We signed him for the Raiders, and people were talking about quarterback wins. Oh, look at what he did with San Francisco. And now we're just getting proof. The man is leading the NFL with turnovers. Proof positive that I could play for the 49ers and would still have a decent record. That's all I want to say. Let's move on.
49ers or the
No, for the
Raiders?
49ers, dude. The 49ers.
You talking about?
Because no, he's
Oh,
showing
you talking about
us.
Brock Purdy as well?
No, I'm talking about Garoppolo. Because when Jimmy G was with the 49ers, everyone's all about, look at all these wins that Jimmy G gets the 49ers. The way he's losing, right? The way he is pitiful with my Raiders is proof positive. This guy was just riding on the coattails of the magnificence that is the coaching and the special teams players at the 49ers. The same thing with Brock Purdy.
Yeah, Brock Purdy's proof of that because he's not that great.
As soon as you put him somewhere, exactly. As soon as you put him somewhere else, he's gonna flake. So to answer for GQ TV, anyone but Jimmy G. Let's move on.
Damn,
I'm getting triggered. I'm getting triggered right now.
Oh, that's
like
a lot of different. That's a lot of different snakes that Loke's willing to see right there. That's kind of crazy. But
yeah, I'm willing to see all of them and enjoy the magnificence of all of them because they're all great, except for Jimmy G. Except for Jimmy G. All right, Jimmy G Snake is terrible, and I can tell by the amount of turnovers that he's got.
Oh man. Okay. Moving on.
You just say Jimmy G's Snake is terrible?
It's terrible.
God damn it.
God.
Let's move on.
God.
Let's move on, please. Please, for the love of God. I don't want to hear about this anymore. But anyways, Alan Wake 2, Loke, go on ahead.
Fuck, man. The first Alan Wake I played, I had a good time. I'm looking forward to this one, but I'm not like jizzing over it. I'm not like super.
Oh my
super
God!
excited.
Like, why you gotta say that?
I'm just saying, people. I saw the ratings for it. People are putting 9.5s, 9.9s. Apparently, this thing is on the same level as the fucking Silent Hill 2, and that makes me uncomfortable. So the first one, I had a good time. This one, I will probably also have a good time when Wise Old Gamer gets it and then we game share on PlayStation. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, everything I've seen. There's nothing I've seen on it, right? There's nothing I've seen on it that makes me say, this is amazing. It's just another goodish game. That's it. That's all I got for you.
What? So I've gotta ask you, Look, because it seems like ever since Alan Wake has announced, you've done nothing but slander this game one way or another. You're like, it's Alan Wake, but it's only partially Alan Wake, and now you're like,
why do I sound like Eric?
Look at
Cartman?
Because that's how you act.
Why do you sound
You're
like
basically Eric Cartman.
Yeah, Luke,
why do you sound like him? You shouldn't be asking that question.
That's a question
you
for
know.
you, bud.
And then you're also with the PC specs look crazy too. And then now, it looks pretty good.
Why the fuck is Ham so good at making Eric Cartman voices? Why is no one questioning this, guys? What the fuck?
Why is he good at making voices of iconic characters? I don't know, Ham. Why are you so good at making voices of iconic characters that everyone knows?
That one specifically.
I think Luke's just trying to dodge the question.
Yes, I have done it successfully, so leave me alone.
You have not. You've been compromised, sir. You know.
No, Ham, I don't have a problem with Alan Wake specifically. I just think it's a good game. And for some reason, people feel the need to act like it's the second coming.
Maybe, Loke, they just really, really, really like it.
Which is fine. You can like it. It's fine.
Hey, exactly. Nothing wrong with that.
It's fine. You can like it.
M-
But
Matt,
Don't
with
don't
Yeah.
what
say it's next to Silent Hill. That's all I'm saying.
But what if it
Matt,
is?
with what
Matt,
you're saying, no, I'm asking this real quick, look, because we need to get to the bottom of this. With what you're saying, do you really think that this stands, or do you, based on what you've seen, do you think it deserves to stand next to Tears of the Kingdom, something like Elden Ring, something like God of War Ragnarok? Do you think
I
it's going to be a better story, a written story, than something like
yes,
Spider-Man?
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Come on.
Okay.
As far as like Elden Ring and Tears of the Kingdom, is it? I wouldn't compare them just because they're two different games. But like, if you were to say,
Not comparing them as games, just
no,
comparing them
yeah,
as company, just like on the same couch. You know what I'm saying?
I I put it. If it's as good as people are saying it is, and I'll find out eventually whenever I get it, I would put it with like people are saying it's the best game Remedy's ever done. They did Max Payne 2. Like they're saying it's the best game they've ever done. If it's better than Max Payne 2, then that's worth something. That's got to be worth like that's up there with. I'm trying to think of a game that's like that, but you really can't because you want to say Last of Us because it goes like photorealism and stuff, but Last of Us isn't the same thing as Alan Wake. Like, there's really nothing you can compare that to, at least off the top of my head. But yeah, I don't see why it couldn't be mentioned there. I think it's gonna be great. Seems like it's great, and I'll find out soon enough whenever I get it.
Yeah, me personally, I've never got into Alan Wake, and I played a
First
little
one's
bit of
very good.
I played some of the original one, and I found myself just bored, to be
What?
honest. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was bored
Okay.
with it. The whole but see, I'm also bored with games like Resident Evil as well too. Like
Resident
where
Evil
it's
would have been
just
a perfect one to say.
like I'm I don't know, just the whole kind of like private eye with all these undead type of things is just kind of played out for me. It is.
Damn. So like the
Um
Sherlock Holmes games for you, that nothing.
mm-mm. I just don't find them interesting unless they like make it fun or funny. Like when you just make it like scary, I mean, sure, I get the shock value, but I don't enjoy horror movies either. Because to me, it's just like, story can be pretty good. That's fine. But if your point is to be scary to me, then I don't know. It's just not a feeling that I try to chase. I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. Maybe I'm the Debbie Downer of it all.
I like horror games.
But
I like horror
anyways,
movies.
I don't really care for either. I don't really care for either at all. Um, I just think that just the whole point of it's kind of it's necessary, but just not for me. Not for me at all. I like more comedy when it comes to stuff like that. But anyways, and that's why I liked Ace Attorney because I thought it's like this game is fucking insane.
Is
But
that your intro was the Ace Attorney games?
well, that's not like that intro or whatnot. Like something else that I really liked, like L.A. Noir.
Okay.
I really enjoy that kind of game because, in my opinion, it gives you more freedom. You can give me the aspect of being like a private eye kind of thing, but I enjoy the freedom of being able to do stuff where like Resident Evil, Alan Wake is very like I don't know. It's just different to me. It's just different. Especially with it being horror. But anyways, next game I wanted to move to, which we should probably start to get cooking because we're over 2 hours in. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Now, Loke, I gotta go to you first on this because you're our Like a Dragon
expert
guy here. Yeah, you're the expert here with that. You're the guru. Yeah, you're the man. What did you think of it?
It's more Yakuza. The island management thing made me think, ironically, it made me think about Cozy. It made me think about what's that game that you said life on Switch, Cozy?
Animal Crossing?
Yes. So dude, I thought about a corny name. I was like Yakuza Crossing when I was watching it. So yeah, the idea of a resort and just chilling out, hanging out with people, building my little shanty town and rides. It's very nice, and again feeds into the immense universe that is the Yakuza universe, where people that look at Yakuza think mafia fighting, but there's so much packed into each individual game. Like when people talk about price increases for games, right? If there's any franchise that I think is justified if they charge you $70, it's Yakuza, because they pack in the entire game, they pack in 5 other games, and then they all those little actual full games that they put in there, all the DLCs in there as well. Day one. That's what you get when you buy one Yakuza game. So this for me is just more confirmation that okay, as soon as it's available, I just have to buy it and leave it in the backlog like I did with the rest of the Yakuza games. And yeah, that was my takeaway from it. It looks polished. Just another game that I'm going to be able to time sync when I'm doing other podcasts where I'm not hosting. So great news. Also, how the fuck is this getting announced at the Xbox showcase? Usually this Japan stuff, you first see it either on Nintendo or on PlayStation. If it's too powerful for Nintendo, you see it at the PlayStation showcase.
Not in 2023, bud.
You're telling me this wasn't ready? I'm willing to bet this was ready when PlayStation did their last showcase. Why the fuck was this not shown at the PlayStation?
Honestly, it's because they've been working really well on expanding the audience for Yakuza, and it's actually been pretty effective. Because I mean, it was PlayStation for years, and it reached pretty much maximum saturation there.
That's a good point.
But why? What would they lose, Cozy, by announcing it at the PlayStation showcase and then let Xbox?
They get a bigger splash. They get a bigger
Xbox
splash.
players.
So like basically they get a bigger splash by announcing it at the Xbox showcase, because the PlayStation people that are gonna play a Yakuza game are already gonna play a Yakuza because they're already gonna play it. But it's relatively a new franchise to Xbox.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, for me, right, the math. I don't run a gaming company. For me, the math is if most of my player base is on Nintendo, we're going to announce our big new games or big add-ons for the big new game that's coming at the Nintendo showcase. But that's just
but keep this keep this in mind. Yeah, exactly, right? So you already have this base under control. So what do? You start hitting the other base. Yeah, you go to the next base and get your recruit on, right? So as like Mr. Inferno said, Sega and Xbox are sleeping together.
God.
I mean, they've been doing it for a while. They've been doing since
Will
Xbox.
and Jada drama or some shit.
I don't think so, but nothing is that. Nothing is that. But
Nothing is that. Oh my god.
nothing is that.
Lastly, I don't know.
It's
I can't
hard to believe
confirm
that
this.
that is that.
I can't confirm this, right? I can't confirm this, but I rewatched the video several times, and there might be some dating sim elements in the Dondoko Island part or section of Yakuza. And for me, at least, that would be new, because all the love interests usually happen in the main story. You can't decide who likes who or does whatever. But on the Dondoko Island, it looks like there's options, and that's also very interesting for me. That's all I have. Thanks.
Yeah, I totally think Sega just sees Xbox's push and they want to be part of the wave with
Yep.
that. And I mean, they've been doing things in tandem for quite some time. The thing that is more of what you're talking about, Luke, that's surprising to me is the part of Sega that's Atlas that decided to come on over as well. That's the part that is interesting to me with the whole, Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, category of games. That's the part that's wild. As for like Yakuza, they've been making sure that you realize that Xbox and Yakuza are like this, son. But
Oh yeah, tight.
but Sega as the main name and everything like that, they like them some Xbox. Real shit. Always have. But Matt, what'd you think about Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth?
It's not my kind of game, probably. Or at least that kind of thing doesn't look like my kind of game. I haven't gotten into the Yakuza series really. And that's
Have you tried them?
No, I haven't. That's what I'm saying. I haven't gotten into it. But like this being more focused on seems like building your own kind of thing. If I was going to, I'd probably check that out just for like what Luke was saying. Something you can waste time playing when you need something like mindless to play. But I'm not super interested in it, honestly.
Gotcha. All right. Quick and easy. You Cozy, you hearing some of the stuff Loke's talking about with, the city and getting to know and, how he brought up what was it? How he brought up Animal Crossing and stuff like that. Does that kind of get you interested in something like this game?
I mean, I don't even think about Yakuza like that because I'm going to give it a go. It's not like one of those games where I'm just like, I'm gonna give it a go. And for me, most of the time, yes, I do usually just stop once I get to like the rhythm game section and just that's all I do in it. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna give it a go.
It looks like a game that you'd really enjoy, to be honest. Just like looking and seeing all the stuff. Of course, fishing being part of it.
Yes.
That's right. And
Yakuza games because they pack so much they put so much care into their mini games. I can't think of a single studio that puts more care into like every little mini game that they do. And for me, I've never finished one of their games ever. I just play the mini games and that in and of itself is an entire experience.
it's mighty respectful how they keep mini games relevant in the industry. Like they go above and beyond to make sure that you can completely fuck off in this game. They let you know that, like, and it's definitely interesting. It's dope. I like that kind of stuff in games because that makes it live so much longer and makes
Yes.
sense to be developed. As to it kind of reminds me of what me and Loke were talking about last night. As to, oh my God, I'm not
Let's
sure if
talk
we have
about it.
time for that subject. Let's
I
talk
think we
about
should
that
talk about
after.
it.
Let's talk about that after we
Okay,
go
do
through
the
all of these,
showcase.
because
All
I
right.
tell you that conversation right there is a problem. But yeah, let's go on ahead and push through the rest of these. We still got, oh man, we still got quite a bit. So yeah, let's get to pushing. And this one will be quick because I know you guys don't love it as much as I do. But my favorite game that was shown was Ark Survival Ascended.
No comment.
And I think
just skip me. Skip me.
I think the game, I mean, if you guys haven't been watching, seeing in the background, I think the game looks absolutely beautiful. And it could
Yes.
look better, but those specs that are for it, I mean, it's Unreal Engine 5, so take a guess. It's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be asking for a lot if you want them high settings or epic settings or anything like that. It's gonna be asking a lot.
So my machine can't run it.
No.
No, it can run it. No, your machine can run it, but you can't.
No, at the highest level.
You'll be at like 30 FPS on your machine.
Okay, but the graphics will still show because I'm just saying, Cyberpunk quality mode works perfectly fine on mine.
Yeah. So yeah. Because I already checked the minimum settings. I think was like a 1060 or something like that.
What's mine?
But I thought you had like a 2060 in yours.
I don't know, dog.
But anyways, it's wild that you don't know your own PC. You asking me what your PC is? I don't know.
I got you, dog.
I think
you're even the one who picked which PC I should get. So
what'd you put in his PC, Ham? What'd you put in there?
I didn't put nothing in there, man. I mean, I tell you what, I put Game Pass on it. I put Game Pass on it and told him he's good to go.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
But yeah, I mean, the recommended specs though, recommended, not minimum, recommended is a 3080 with a 3600X. I don't remember what the Intel CPU is, but that's not cheap by any means at all. So but that's for recommended, like I said, minimum settings like 1060. I think it's still the same type of CPU though. So the CPU is something tough in the game because remember, everything's going on in real time online. And when you leave, things are still going on in real time. So make sure you feed your animals and everything like that in the game. But Cozy, Matt, do any of you guys have anything to say about the game?
You can still eat the poop?
Nope.
Yep.
Okay. That's all I care about. Poop eating.
You can do what in poop?
Eat the poop.
You can eat feces
The poop.
in Ark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's supposed to be used as fertilizer.
It's cool.
But some people use it to eat to kill themselves when they're stuck.
What?
I've seen it. Because it'll kill you, so then you can respawn and go get your stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a cool feature.
And spoiled meat as well. You can eat spoiled meat. You can eat some bad shit.
I used to like to force people in Sims to eat spoiled meat just to watch them like gag as they were eating it. They'd be like this, and they just continue eating it. You just like mash, like eat it, so they wouldn't stop.
My God, Cozy, what is
Cozy? What the hell?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, next RoboCop.
Yeah, let's move the fuck.
RoboCop. Anybody have anything that they want to say about RoboCop? I'm gonna start opening it up because we need to get moving.
Looks cool. I mean, it looks pretty badass, but that's about it.
I think it looks badass, but
design.
I think it looks pretty damn good, but I'm not gonna lie, it's something I'd be willing to play when it hits a subscription service or goes on a really deep sell like Forspoken did for me. That's when I get it. I'm not really I don't want to go out of my way at all for that game because it's just I don't have any sort of like I've seen the movie RoboCop and stuff like that, but I was never like, man, I just seen the best movie ever. Like, no.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, I seen a pretty nuts movie with a insane robot cop, but yeah, that was the end of that. All right, next one, Spirit of the North 2.
Another subscription game. It looks decent, but I'm not day one-ing that one.
Okay. And that game, I'm kind of curious. I don't remember what it actually looks like, to be
I'm
honest.
confused because when did one? I don't even remember one.
What? One was it was good. The first one was good. It was decent.
Oh, you said it
The-
was good, then you said it was decent. Which is it?
yeah, decent.
Which is
decent.
it?
It
Huh?
was a worthwhile experience, but I'm not like sitting here like, oh, you need to applaud it. It's like, no, it's worth a sequel, and the sequel looks more polished. So I'm happy for the people making it, but it's not. It wasn't like a seminal title or anything like that.
Huh.
Yeah, it's worth your
Pretty.
time
Okay.
if you have time to play it. Yeah,
It looks cute.
yeah, it's nothing special, but far from being a bad game.
Is it like puzzle or something like that?
But yeah, light puzzle, a lot to do with
So like Cocoon.
yeah, exploration,
Adventure.
vibes.
No, that
Yes,
sounds hot. I
adventure.
That's
like
like
that kind of
Journey.
stuff.
Yes, think Journey. There you go.
I really enjoy that kind of stuff. Actually, Cocoon, I flew right through that game. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was a great palate cleanser after Starfield.
Your face.
What?
But
What?
I'm not done with
After-
Starfield, but it was a great palate cleanser, so I could get into like
yeah,
Spider-Man
dude, I was
or
trying to
something like
pull you
that.
back. Like, wait, what do you mean palate cleanser?
Yeah. It's just a palate cleanser. I mean, just like
It's not a bad thing.
just like ginger is a good palate cleanser to have another piece of sushi.
Yeah, you know, you clean your palate between
palate.
different flavors. Duh.
Alright,
You want
alright,
sophisticated
absolutely.
swine? Oh,
Yeah.
Damn, get him.
Let that
I usually don't
fraud
use
know.
ginger.
Let
Usually
that fraud know.
Okay.
Freak of
Shut up,
nature.
Loke. Shut it, Loke. Shut up.
Jesus. I didn't know sushi was
Shut
there
up.
and drew the line. All right.
It is where I
Apologies.
draw the line. I'm done with
Wow.
your shit. And here it is. Icaro will not die. Matt,
Sick.
you said that was the game for you of
That game
the
looks
showcase,
awesome.
right?
Yes, that
So
game looks awesome.
talk
Reminds
about
me
it. What's so awesome about it?
Okay, so first of all, when the trailer starts, the first thing you notice is the art style. Reminds me of Hi-Fi Rush, which I mean,
Yes.
I love
Yes.
I
Lots of
love
Hi-Fi
cell
Rush.
shaded games. I love that shit. It's the combat looks really cool in the game. Obviously, you know, Hi-Fi Rush being a rhythm game, it's not the exact same thing. But like the combat looks really good in this game. I forget what weapon he was swinging around. I need to watch that trailer again. But that just the art style of that game looks awesome. When does that come out? Icaro.
I'm not sure when the game comes out.
Oh,
It does look it does look really, really fast paced and cool.
exactly.
I like it.
Dude, the jumping, there's like, oh man, I don't know what kind of game that's going to be. All I know is it's cell shaded. The combat looks amazing. It looks like there's a score element to the game, or maybe I'm like reading that wrong or whatever. But it just looks like it's going to be a fun time.
It just
Looks
looks, in my opinion, it just looks like a 360 PS3 kind of title, like
Yeah,
where
I'm
it's
fine
just
with
like
that.
I'm gonna turn this on and I'm just gonna have fun and fuck shit up.
Yes, it's also by
Really
the
is.
people who made Power Wash Simulator, or the publisher of Power Wash Simulator from Future Lab, the award-winning creators.
Oh shit!
That's some diversity in their catalog. That's something different.
Yeah,
And I appreciate
it's way
that.
different. It's way different. I mean,
When I saw
Power
that,
Wash
I was
Simulator
like,
is
that's such
kind of
an
like
Xbox
paint
game.
drying.
what do you
This
mean by
Icaro
that?
thing, it looks like such an Xbox game.
Oh, what do you mean by
Yeah,
that? What do you mean
has
by
Because
that,
gameplay.
Tony?
Xbox,
It means it has
Xbox,
gameplay.
no. Xbox for me at least used
Yeah.
to be first person shooter, always online type of games. Now you see games that you're like new IP, looks like there's gonna be new mechanics. You're excited, but you are also like confused, and you're definitely gonna give it a go. That's for me at least. That's a typical Xbox game. The Xbox, the games that they're kind of trying to partner with is the games that is just like the Manor Lords game. Is it the Manor Lords? Yeah, Manor Lords. We skipped it, Ham, but Manor Lords. When I saw Manor Lords, I was also like, yeah, that's an Xbox game. It's a
I
game
haven't
that.
skipped it. I haven't got to it yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry. You
Getting
get
ahead
the
of your
feeling.
horses.
You get the feeling.
Yeah.
Speaking of horses, there's
pony.
horses in Manor Lords. You get the feeling with the games that the Xbox is showing.
You know where else there's horses?
You know the surprise
The
box.
horses
The
here.
surprise when you're a kid. The surprise boxes that you get, you don't know what's in it. You're just excited that you got a surprise box. That's what Xbox games are to me now. With PlayStation, you know what you're getting. With Nintendo, you know what you're getting. That's a double-edged sword, because then you're like, nah, I'm good on most of what you guys have to offer. But with Xbox, you still have that thing of you have the box of the game, you're at the store, you have the box. You don't know what's waiting in the game, but the box looks cool. I can't wait to see what happens. So yeah, that's the feeling I got from this game.
Okay. And
You said there's a horse in here?
that was Ikuro Will Not Die.
Yeah. Ikuro Will Not
All
Die.
right. All right, cool. Yeah, I thought the game looked pretty damn hot too. I like the way Matt described it with the whole kind of reminds him of Hi-Fi Rush and stuff like that. Reminds, like I said, it reminds me of like 360 PS3 generation where it's just like, here's the task, go fuck shit up. That's it. But anyways, the next one I know Cozy is really excited about. Dungeons of Hinterberg is the game, and I tell you, this game looked pretty damn hot as well to me. I'm actually gonna save Cozy for last on this one because she's so excited. I'm gonna make her stew in it. So, Loke, I'm actually gonna go to you first because I've seen you write for games like this before.
Yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. The mechanics, the actual fighting and battling looks stiff and uninspired, but the way you level up in terms of completing tasks and then interacting with the people in the village, that for me looks totally new and worth experiencing. I'll personally be playing it as soon as I can, just because of the social aspect of it. But the actual battles, they looked stiff. It didn't look like a lot of fun.
Okay. I'm going ahead and talk about this real quick before I pass it over to Matt. I thought this game looked really interesting to me personally because it had some pretty interesting ways of getting through battles and stuff like that, but it also kind of had the talking and confidant aspect of a Persona or dare I say Scarlet Nexus, to where you're talking to
Ooh.
people, leveling them up and making them more useful to your purpose throughout the game. So I think it looks really cool. I love the whole tornado thing. I like the changes of perspective when you're going through the levels and whatnot. I think it's just really cool. I mean, I'm gonna go even back to what even Matt said about Icaro. This game as well gives me a little bit of a Hi-Fi Rush feel just when they're in the battle
No.
part. Just the battle part. Yes, absolutely. With all the enemies everywhere, and you got your special moves, and but I mean, obviously without the whole grading system behind it. But like this is it touches to me it lightly and delicately touches upon different games very well from what it appears, in my opinion. I'm pretty excited to try this out, and I think it looks pretty good. And just the way that they made this game, I'm starting to fall more and more and more in love with like cell shaded and stuff kind of games, because it's just like preserving those types of games is so much easier than preserving a game that's going for realism. Where where I feel like some teams choose to do a remake because it's just the graphics just don't hold up the same and stuff like that. You don't have to do that with a lot of cell shaded games. You just have to make sure the frame rate is getting better, or once the frame rate hits where it needs to hit, it's just porting.
Since we're on that subject of graphics versus pixel, cell shaded, I think Metal Gear, they didn't have to upgrade the graphics. All the money they spent on graphics, they should have just improved the gameplay. Make the open world more open.
I kind of agree.
Make it more
actually
interactable. Make the third person view for movement and shooting your gun more kinetic, more simple, and more fluid. So yeah,
I 100% agree, because that's one of the things that I wanted to get into Metal Gear and hope that they changed was the button schemes and whatnot. But from what it seems like in the reviews, I've heard nobody talk about anything button wise. So I'm assuming it's literally
a port.
The exact same button.
Literally a port.
Just a port. And to me, that's bare minimum. And I don't like that at all. I mean, it's dope that you're keeping it relevant, keeping it alive, keeping it playable for the next upcoming thing. But it's just like, to me, you can't sell that near a new game price, in my opinion. Yeah, just because it has the cachet, I don't give a damn.
You can only sell it to psychos like Loke.
Facts. It's facts. I mean, yeah. I'm sorry, that's true. And I think all of us have that game that will just like kind of fold under the pressure. I mean, Matt has Skyrim. I've seen. I mean, Cozy. I don't know. Probably like something like I don't know. We just got done talking about it. The game. The god dang Animal Crossing.
What is it, Cozy?
Animal Crossing. I don't know how many times Cozy's played Animal Crossing on a different platform.
Here's the thing: I only buy one per platform. I don't buy the same game over again.
And yeah, obviously, Loke with Metal Gear, me with Ark.
I did it back Terraria.
Trudge through the pain of Ark. But anyways, the last few that we got, let's start with Still Wakes the Deep. I always want to say Still Water Run Deep, but Still Wakes the Deep. This game, in my opinion, I'm down. Or I apologize. Did anybody else? I apologize. Cozy, you were supposed to get into Dungeons of Hinterberg, so let's tie that up real quick, because you're the one that's most excited for that game.
Yes. So when the first time they showed that game way back when, I was immediately like, this game looks like something I love. And the more and now that they've shown more, it's like, this is definitely something I love. All sorts of aspects of it. I know Loke said, oh, the combat and stuff like that. But for me, sometimes if there's a lot of other great elements in the game, where I don't even have to concentrate. No, if killing isn't in the fighting isn't the main feature of a game, and it's just side stuff and serviceable, and I don't feel like that's like it breaks up the flow. Having it be just serviceable works for me very well, rather than getting super engaged in the combat and then like being pulled out of that for other tidbits of content when I'd rather just be fighting things.
Fair enough.
Fair.
Fair enough. Matt, did you have anything to say about it before we get out of here? Or,
No,
or,
I
or
was
get to the next one?
It's
kind
digital
of
only, so we can't lick it.
yeah. That's my official stance on the game. No,
That's a problem.
I was watching rewatching the trailer whenever you guys were talking. I would kind of agree with Low. Combat just looks a little stiff. But if what Cozy's saying is true, that's not the main point of the game, then I mean, hey, I'll give it a shot. I can see myself giving that game a shot. It comes to Game Pass. I could give it a shot. Might end up
Oh, it's on
liking
Game
it.
Pass.
Yeah, I think it's at the end of the trailer. It said Game Pass.
Wild. Okay.
Let's go. That's exciting. Yeah, let's go on ahead and hit still Wake to the Deep. So
Let's
look, I want to
go.
hit you on that one
I'm
first.
down. I like these
Smart.
I like narratives in games. And this one looks like a game made in like the Telltale style, and for me that's 100% okay. I'm looking forward to it. Cannot wait for Still Waters Deep or whatever. The oil rig game.
Still Wakes
That's what I call
the
it.
Deep.
I call it the oil rig
The
game.
oil rig game.
Cozy, go on ahead.
No, I mean, it looks creepy, so that's definitely not something I'm gonna touch. But when I thought of it, I was like, there's a TV show on Amazon called The Rig, and it reminded me of that.
Is it a horror? The rig.
I wouldn't say it's horror. It's kind of like
Suspense.
Thriller.
suspense, sci-fi. Yeah.
I might watch it then. I got Amazon. I'll watch it.
You still need to watch The Boys, so I ain't buying that.
Yeah, The Boys.
Anyways,
I do.
this but anyways, Matt, what did you think about this game?
That game looks awesome. I felt the same way after seeing this, the same way I felt about it after they showed it at Xbox's showcase. I'm down 100% for that game. And it comes to Game Pass. Like
what?
Yes, that comes
What's
to Game Pass.
not coming to Game Pass?
So that goes to Game Pass. I'm hyped for that game. There's not many games, at least that I can think of off the top of my head, that are horror games that take place on an oil rig.
Yeah.
So I mean that right there is a concept.
It's kind of a perfect setting.
Yeah, it is. You're in the middle of fucking nowhere, and if they play it right, there's so many different ways. Like it could be psychological. It could all just be psychological. I'm interested to see what the deal is with that game, but I'm excited to check it out for sure.
All right, my take is I'm only interested in it. I'll be honest. I'm only interested in it because it's in Game Pass.
You're not putting money on it.
Beep, boop, bop. Beep.
Nope. I'm only interested because if
pooping.
it was there, because I know if it wasn't, this is a game that I'd have to hear from a friend that was great, and then get it when it's on sale. That's
wow.
I mean, that's
so even if
that's
I
the way I
called
kind
you
of look
like,
at this
dude,
game.
this is great. I bought it. Don't regret the purchase. You'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Backlog.
Exactly. Yes, because I mean, let's be real. Look at the games that's coming that came out and that are coming out. So it's just kind of like hop in line.
And we still
for a game like
we
that.
haven't made time for those games.
Exactly, man. It is on the queue, but it is not first in line. It's not on deck. It's in the queue. Right?
Right.
Something like Remnant 2 is on deck. You know what I'm saying? Morals of Avium, that's on deck.
Morals of Avium's on sale. Or at least
I actually took Metal Gear and threw it off the deck because I was disappointed in what I seen with the remaster of that. Because I really wanted to buy that, and then
man. You don't need to verbalize blasphemy.
Then he drowned it.
I'm sorry, look, but it's just not it. It's just not it as a whatever they want to call it. I just think it's just I already own the I already own the collection for PS3, so it's just like
which is the best.
why would I need this?
Yeah.
Why would I need this? Because it literally is like a port of that one.
But this one has extras that one doesn't have. But it's for like super
Like what?
fans. There's like graphic novels. There's OSTs.
Okay.
There's
Solid
there's
Snake.
scripts. There's scripts. There's all these little like nuggets. But
Well, I'll tell
only
you
have
what. Look, if
value
I
for super
enjoy
fans.
if I enjoy what what I've already purchased, that's the same thing minus some of the novelty items.
hmm
Then maybe I'll look into that on sale, deep sale way later. But there is no way in
Right.
hell I'm spending $50 for that when I already
That's
have
$50.
the other thing.
All right.
Loki, you want to answer that question?
It's 60. Well, in my
Oh,
region.
excuse me, my bad. Okay, yeah, it's in here is his region, so
Oh,
it's probably
okay,
50.
Okay,
It's probably
gotcha.
50 here.
That's
Okay,
interesting.
so it's something. But all right, there's 2 games left. Loke was kind of hinting at one of them earlier. Manor Lords. Loke, I'm gonna let you go on ahead and start us off on this one.
I'll be brief again. It's just an Xbox game. You know it in your bones. You have to try this. This is going to be an experience, positive or negative. But if you're a gamer, right, you're not one of these knuckle draggers. You have to play. You have to play this game because it has
Really,
the
sell it to
potential.
me, Loke, because I'm not feeling what you're saying so far.
It
I look
has,
at this
dude.
game and I'm just like, meh.
Dude, you say you like Age of Empires. Well,
No, I
what about
didn't say that. I said I played Age of Empires and I got addicted to it for like 12 hours and then I deleted it. That's
all
what
right?
happened.
So imagine Age of Empires, but now it's got Game of Thrones in it.
I
Still
mean, that's
nothing,
fine. Yeah, nothing.
dude. You build your own house, and then
I
you
do that in
get
Ark
to
all the time.
yeah. But
Uh,
in Arkham, you don't have an entire village of people that have
That's
their
not
own
true.
interconnected stories, and then you have your soldiers, and then
I play
you
with
go
my
to
wife and my
war.
wife has a story. She has a story for a lot of her
yeah.
life and she
We
can
all
build
we
her
all
own
we
house.
all have stories, Luke. I don't know what you're
Oh my
talking about.
god.
We've all got stories to tell about.
Y'all are just trolling me right now. Ark is it's
Yeah,
bare
unfortunately.
bones. It's bare bones. There's nothing in Ark. Just a bunch of weird ass dragons and shit.
There
That
are
shows that you don't know what
dinosaurs.
you're talking
There are
about.
dinosaurs in Ark.
There's dinosaurs, but you also have guns, but you also have arrows, but you also have
Damn right.
space. You have space crafting
I
stuff
joined a
in it. I'm
game of
just like,
Ark,
dude, what the
and someone
hell?
legit showed me the Jurassic Park they made. They're like, they recreated Jurassic Park. That's like what they did. I was like, how many hours did this take you? And they were like, yeah, I could have used like mods and stuff like that. They didn't use anything. They just like built it from scratch. And I was like, no, for real, how many hours did it take you? And he was like, oh no, like 100, something ridiculous. Like just
Oh God,
100 hours? That's impressive.
100
It's a short amount
hours.
of time.
yeah, I know, but that's still a lot.
Short.
No,
Did you say short, Tam?
Yeah.
well, no, it was only because that wasn't the first game he played. That was like, that wasn't his first venture.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
very
just one
short,
of his
Loke.
saves. That was one
Yes,
of
that
his
was just one of
saves.
his saves.
Look,
Let's end the show.
you
Let's
think
go.
you think that's long?
Fuck this.
100 hours. I told you I put in over like 150
But you're a
days
psycho. You're a psycho.
No, so
That's
yeah,
into that game.
it took him like 100 hours to build the Jurassic Park. He had like other saves that he did other things on, but that was like specifically.
Oh, but he did it in a single player setting, or
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a little different. Yeah, he definitely could have utilized mods and stuff like that, but if he chose not to, that's impressive. It's still impressive. But okay. Anybody
yeah,
else
let's go
have
with something
anything to
else,
say
not
about
Ark.
Manor Lords?
Nah, no interest. I don't really care about medieval games.
Y'all are insane.
And then Matt.
I'm all good.
Breaking Loke's heart. Loving it.
For Loke.
All
and
right,
his
last but not
bad
least,
pony taste.
last but not least, and I'm sorry, Loke, but we're gonna have to push the
It's
conversation
fine.
to next week
Yeah.
because
Otherwise,
this
it's gonna
is
be another hour or two, actually.
exactly that next topic would at least derail us for another 40 minutes. So
At
I
least
don't want
at
to do
least
that
we've
right
got
now.
topics for when we finally have a slow week. I don't know when that's going to happen, but at least we have topics for that. But yeah, let's
No
go.
doubt. The last game here I wanted to talk about is the finals, and I mostly want Matt to cover this one. We'll give our thoughts, but Matt's actually played the game and he's given it a try. And I think he's going to be doing a short like impressions video of it sometime next week. Next week's going to be pretty busy for you, bud. Going ahead.
Yeah. So finals is interesting because I think it has all the potential in the world to be an amazing game, but the onboarding process into that game is quite terrible. They tell you here's a tutorial, and the tutorial literally only tells you you can pick up cash and cash it out. It doesn't tell you why you want to pick up cash and cash it out. It doesn't explain any of the combat, what different weapons are there. It doesn't really give you a target practice thing. It gives you like one enemy you can shoot at. That's about it. Doesn't explain the maps. Doesn't explain if there's different maps or if it's all the same thing. There's so many things about the game that it doesn't explain. And I'm just wondering if it's a beta. This is the way it is. Or if that's something they actually put thought into. Because if that's something they actually put thought into, they kind of need to rethink it. Because I could see somebody being like myself. I picked it up last night and played. I was playing a little bit during the show today. I could see somebody picking that up, not knowing what they're doing, and then just being like, "Okay, this looked really cool. Yeah, this looked really cool, but now I'm done because I don't know what's going on here." I could see that happening for a lot of people. So hopefully that's something they fix or correct it with some upcoming
Because that's the
updates or
point of
whatever.
the beta, correct? Take notes,
You would think.
see
You would
what's
think
wrong.
so. Like take notes, learn what you can do, learn how to explain things to your player base because dude, I was playing like just a few minutes ago and it's like everybody was equally clueless on what to do and then we got paired with a team who knew what they were doing and they just
And just got
fucking
steamrolled.
they just obliterated us, like wiped us off the map. And so there's going to be a lot of situations like that, and I feel like it's going to be, and it doesn't seem like they're putting you against bots either. Remember how Apex came out and you played a few games and they let you win and everything? You're playing against bots. Same with Fortnite, same with
And then
PUBG,
they
same with all those
take you to
games.
the main stage.
Yeah, then they get you with real players and then they're just wiping you.
Good
It's real
luck.
players. It feels like it's real players from the jump with this. You're getting wiped from the jump. So you're getting wiped and you're not knowing what to do. So it's kind of
frustrating.
it's frustrating. So, yeah, definitely a good way of putting that. But I feel like there's a lot of promise with that game. If they do things right, it has a lot of potential. I could see it. I don't know if anything ever dethrones Fortnite, just because it seems so out of the realm of possibility at the moment, even with Fortnite being kind of having a down moment like it's having. But I could see it if they stick with it, dethroning Apex. I'd rather play that than Apex, gameplay wise.
I'm actually 100% behind what you just said, Matt, because I hear what Loke said about like Fortnite and whatnot, and I'm just like, I think it'd have to be a different type of game to dethrone Fortnite. But as for something like Payday, I think it's actually, I think it's walking by Payday smoking a cigarette.
Oh yeah,
But as for something like Apex, I feel it could like give it a serious run for its money on that. And it can actually, depending on how this game comes out, it could put Sony's new game in trouble.
Foam Stars. Is that what you're talking about?
No, the one that Sony first party, the heist
game.
Sony game.
Dude, I'm telling you.
The fair game, fair something.
Fair games. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It could put that game in kind of some trouble from the start if they don't get that kicking off right away.
I could see that.
That's kind of my thoughts on
I
it.
could definitely see that.
Loke, anything else that you wanted to say about it? Because you did speak about it
Nope.
earlier.
Yeah, I already said it, so it's cool.
And
And
how
I'm
about you,
doubling
Cozy?
down. This one is gonna make Fortnite
Said
shake.
it, the heist game trend. I already talked about like my feelings on the heist game trend. That's just the new.
What are your feelings?
Trend.
What are your
It's the
feelings
new
on the heist game
trend.
trend?
It's the new thing.
But
That
what
they
are your
do.
feelings? What are your feelings?
I'm like, they're just trying to make a new trend of these types of games and make them heisty.
Heisty.
That's it. That's your feelings.
Heisty and feisty. I love it.
That's
All right. Well,
interesting.
with that being said, let's go on ahead and close out and get up out of here. We just hit over the 3-hour mark.
what?
And
I've
I
been
tell you
doing
what,
it
I'm feeling cooks right now. I'm ready to go eat dinner.
Yeah, I'm starving.
And go relax and whatnot. I got K Mega show I gotta do here in about 2 hours. So I'm gonna go do that. But Loke, do you want to leave us with your last point?
Before that, Matt, plug your stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
thank
my
you.
stuff.
Thank you for saying that.
You can find me on Twitter at Matt Likes Games. You can find me here every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern for this show, of course. And then I have a channel that I do, Matt Likes Games on YouTube. You check that out. Videos Mondays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then on Wednesdays, I do a show with Ham at 2 p.m. Eastern called the Two Player Podcast. Check that out, and that's where you can find me.
All right. Cozy Beluga, you can find her on Twitch, Twitter as well. It's COSYBELUGA. She has a comic book coming out on the 26th of January 2024. 2023. No, 2024. Correct. 2024. Please make sure to save up. It's $100. It's $100 a pop. We appreciate you guys supporting Cozy Beluga. We need to make sure she's well fed to continue eating these atrocities on TSWS.
Hey!
On Mondays, Ham does the crossover with K Mega on TSWS or on K Mega's channel. Tuesdays,
it's on TSWS this week.
All right. Tuesdays is the lowdown with me and Ham. Wednesdays, like Matt said, it's the Two Player Podcast on Matt's channel. Thursdays, Behind Them Sticks. Ham Solo invites people like Seamus Blackley that was on here today to chat about all things gaming, how they got to be where they're at, what their vision is going forward, and what their thoughts are on where the industry is right now. On Fridays, we do bullsitting as we're doing now. I didn't host today because I'm not feeling well. I'm under the weather. And yeah, that's pretty much it. As for the last point, well done to Sarah Bond and Matt Booty and all the other people that got promoted within Xbox. You deserve it, not because of your sexual orientation, your sex, or your skin color. You deserve it because you guys have been doing a good job, especially this year. You guys freaking crushed it, destroyed it, pulverized it. And I hope and I believe it's everyone's hope here on the panel that you continue to give us a run for our money and continue to give us good games at this regular cadence to the point where we are asking you, begging you for mercy, asking you for 1 month off without 10 great games coming to Game Pass. 1 month, guys. That's all we're asking for. Anyway, thank you for listening.